Hi guys. Okay. Hi guys. How are you guys doing? Hi KJ. I'm good. Thank you. Mm. Isaac. Hi. How are you? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, say yes, please. Mm. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Ibrahim. Ibrahim, welcome to the panel. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining. And how you guys doing? Well, I'm fine. Mhm. We're just gonna go ahead and wait for a couple of people and see if we'll have like more people come in. Listen, I'm sitting at a very comfortable place today. This chair is so comfy. I'm sitting in my kids' room. They have a new desk and chair, and I decided to do this live here. And oh my God, this is gonna be my spot now. So good. Thankful, right? Thankful right now. Okay, true essence. Thank you. I, I really miss your show. Oh, you did? You've been away, but I've not been doing a lot of lives lately, so you're good. You're good. I did a video on this topic 3 days ago, and a lot of people wanted me to do live in the comment section because a lot of people have different opinions, and most of the people also that were commenting are going through this, especially the men that have traveled. So they were trying to give their own points and views and trying to justify also why some African men would prefer to travel than stay home. So yeah, we're here to do that live today. Angel, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for joining. Hit the like button as you guys come in. Let me see how many likes we have as of now. Mm, we got 7 likes. Please, guys, hit the like button. It's gonna help us in the algorithm. Okay. Let me see the likes again. I need us to have like the same amount of likes. Okay, the likes have gone up. We have 18 people watching and 12 likes. More likes up, please. More likes. More likes. Okay. So it's gonna bring our people to come on board. Looking beautiful, Samsung. I'm always beautiful. Yes, I do. You know better. Marcel, how are you? Thank you for joining. True Essence came off the phone to my mom and just needed a Gambian right now. Thank you, Vinta. And yes, no. I know you are not in the Gambia, but if you only knew, I understand. I completely understand. And thank you for joining the live. Okay, we have almost 20 people. So let's just go ahead and start right now. And then the other people can join us later. Okay. Don't my like. Yep. Don't forget your likes, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for joining this panel. And like I said, this panel is motivated by a video that I did 3 days ago. And so many people wanted me to do a live on it because everybody have different opinions. And because it's such a sensitive issue and it's something that is going on, and most of the people that commented on the topic are people that are in that type of situation. So now, as the topic says, diaspora struggling wives that are in Africa. Let me read the topic again because I think I missed it. Diaspora husbands, then lonely wives of 10 years plus in Africa. The struggles of diaspora wives, husbands leaving their wives for 10 years plus, or it could even be less, you know. It's also a struggle. It doesn't matter how many years. So, if you are African, you already know what I'm talking about. And even diaspora Africans also know that this is something that is going on because I had those comments also where people in the diaspora or African Americans were saying that they have seen a lot of those marriages and how crazy it can be. So if you're a man and you're married to a woman who is in the Gambia or any part of Africa, please don't be offended by this video. We just have to discuss things like this and basically create awareness amongst ourselves as brothers and sisters. And I was a diaspora wife. No, I was a lonely wife in Africa before I come to America, but it was just for 1 year anyway, so that's not a lot. You know, I can do that. But there's a lot of people that are married to men, and even men that are married to women also, that are not living with them. Instead, most of the men, this is more common with the guys, they are usually in the Western countries, you know, they have come here to find greener pastures and, you know, to be financially able and be able to take care of their families. And because of that, so many women are left behind. So what happened is some people will get married. And it is after they have got married that the husband will find a visa to come to the diaspora. And some people really get married after they are in the diaspora already. Okay. So I've seen a lot of people who have never been married travel, you know, to find greener pastures, and at some point they will get married. Now, the problem with this is that so many people get married but don't know when they're going to go back. Okay. Because coming to the diaspora, coming to America, like there's a lot of expectations that people have, which is not reality on ground. And people end up realizing um, what exactly is going on when they have already stepped their foot here, and they can't even go back when that happens. Because when you go back, if you're here to, you know, do better for yourself, okay, to be able to help your family, maybe you come from a poor family, you can't just go back. You still want to work and have something before you go back. And then considering the fact that going back, you are not like guaranteed to have any finances or have any job to be able to take care of you. So people end up being forced to stay and, you know, do something for themselves. Now, for those people who have already got married before coming, because there's this mindset about America and, you know, Europe that people have, that African have, that everything here is milk and honey, which is not the case. So some people will leave a beautiful family back home. They will leave a good job back home, maybe not good enough. It, like in their own thinking, they might think it's not good enough, but I would just say some jobs are good. And they will come to the diaspora not knowing what lies ahead here. And you leave your wife behind. Let's say you have a visa that is like a visitor's visa, and you come here, but you don't intend to go back. Remember, like you're not gonna have documents, and when your time to go back expires and you didn't go back, even if you want to come back again, the embassy is not gonna let you most of the time. So as soon as you stay, you overstay your welcome, you might as well just stay. That's how they see it. I might as well just stay because if I go back, I will not be able to come back. So because of that, people end up staying. And there's a lot of people that will stay for like a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 years, and they're not able to have documents. And if you don't have your documents, then going back means you can't come back. And if you're not like guaranteed anything in Africa, then it's not the best idea for you to go back then. Because no matter how small it is, if you have a little job here, it's okay. Another thing is that sometimes when you don't have your documents, you can't secure a very good job because most of the jobs will require you to have your papers. And if you don't have them, you might have like the under the table jobs, which don't pay really good. And you have to calculate your finances as well. So because of that, life would get really, really, really tough for so many people. And in addition to that, you left a wife behind and you are not, um, you left a wife and a family behind and you are not ready to go back. So you spend years and years and years and years in America or any part of Europe, and you leave a woman back home and maybe your children. There's this thing that it's turning to be like it's becoming a culture thing in Africa. Like the man have to go and find something so that they can take care of you. And sometimes women support these ideas as well. But you leave a woman behind for 3, 4 years. You're not going back and you're not expected to have papers. What happens? I asked the question, I said, how many men are able to not have any intimacy with any woman for 3, 4, 5 years? I'm not saying there's not a lot, but it's not a lot of men. I'm not saying there's not any, but it's not a lot of men. Even though some people were arguing the topic with me that men can hold body and soul together, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And if you guys, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. It's okay. But women are expected to be okay no matter how long a man stays abroad. And the society allows it, like women cannot even complain that the man is staying too long. You can't even tell your husband, you need to come back because I need you. You are beginning to stay too long and I can't cope anymore. It's like the society just lets the man go fine, and it doesn't matter how the woman feels, and it doesn't matter how long they are going to stay out. Okay. And because of this, a lot of relationships have like sunken because, like I said in my last video, so many men in the diaspora, maybe they've stayed for 10 years, and at some point they're able to acquire their documents, and they start going back, to Africa, coming back, holidays and stuff like that until they're able to file for their wives. And there are a lot of stories where those children, like those children that the wife have given birth to, may not be the husband's child, So those are one of the cons of long distance relationships, especially with such amount of years, like 10 years long. I have seen somebody who is married for the past 15 years. It's over 15 years anyways, because that was like really, really young when she got married. And still, this man is not back, but this woman is still with the guy. This woman is still waiting for this guy to come back, you know? So I can't even imagine myself in her shoes. I don't want to imagine it because it's very difficult to have to stay back home waiting for a man to come for 10 years. It's difficult for just 1 year or 2 years waiting for your spouse to come back home. Now, I don't have to tell you how difficult it's going to be to stay for 10, 15 years, Kudos to those ladies, kudos to those women because they're going through a lot. Okay. There's a problem. Some of these women sometimes will get tempted. Most of them are very good. Listen, African women, um, hands up to you guys because you guys are doing amazing. You guys are not expected to do anything wrong and then you keep body and soul together. Though some people don't. Some people, it's Satan. Satan is evil and you can get tempted to do things. If you can hold yourself for 10 years, it doesn't mean that somebody else can do the same thing. People are different. But the problem is that sometimes when things like this happen, let's say a woman stays without a man for 10 years and then somehow gets tempted and gets pregnant, guess what the society is going to call you? A prostitute. Forgetting how long you have been sitting, forgetting all the things that you've gone through. They don't know how you feel, especially the African society. They place women so high when it comes to being faithful. Men can be unfaithful and it's going to be okay because at the end of the day the woman is expected to forgive the man, or people are going to say, oh, it's in the nature of man, don't you can't leave your house because of that. But guess what? When a woman is unfaithful, like even without the man saying anything, the whole world is going to call you a prostitute. You're going to be looked down on. You're going to be gossiped every day. You're going to be pointed at every day you're walking outside the streets. Even the family that you come from will not be able to understand you because you're expected to be faithful, even if it's 20, 30 years. You have to wait. A lot of Africans, I've seen a lot of Gambian old men here in America, especially in New York, especially in New York, who have stayed here for 30 years. 30 good years, guys. And their wives are in Africa. And out of those 30 years, maybe for 10, 15 years, they didn't have papers. That the first 15 years, they didn't have papers. Then from the 16 year, maybe they acquired their papers. Then they start going. They're going once a year or twice a year. Now for 30 years, this woman is going to have to be only, this woman is only going to have be intimate with you once a year and only 1 month every year, or only 1 month every 2 years. Think about it. Like I said, I don't even want to imagine it. For 30 good years. And we have a lot of old men here who still don't want to go back, but they have left their wives since they were in their 20s, or they were in their 30s or 40s, and right now they're probably in their 70s. This is crazy. What money can make us do. And if you are a religious person, from the little that I know, like they said in the Islam religion, you are not supposed to stay away from your wife, spouse, like the spouse is not supposed to stay from each other for more than 6 months. But sometimes circumstances will make us do it. We have to do other things, or you might get promoted, or you might get sent on a trip because of work related issues. Okay, so when that happens, we just gotta do what we gotta do. But I feel like people have to think very, very well before making certain moves. Like if you're a man, think if you are not married and you're in the diaspora and you don't have documents and you are not sure when you're going to go back or even if you're going to go back again, think before you marry a lady. Because what I see happening is that at the end of the day, it's the women that get judged for sleeping around. And I'm not saying it's okay to sleep around. Trust me, I'm not saying that. I know it's wrong. But what do you expect? Even if you, the guy, you're not sleeping around with anybody, okay? What do you expect for a woman to sit for years and years and years and years with no man? And probably some of these women have already lived with their husbands already, okay? Sometimes people think it's okay when you marry a virgin, a girl that has never that has never been intimate with any man because maybe they don't know how it feels. But I feel like even with that, at some point, a woman is a woman, especially this social media generation. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody have feelings. Okay, people, you may not even be very, intimate with your spouse or boyfriend, but you know how it feels. And you can't tell me that virgins don't know how it feels, okay? Because most men, like Gambian men, will get married to very young ladies who are, of course, expected not to know anything about a man. But what about the ones that already know you or have lived with you for the past 5 years and you decide to travel and now they have to be lonely with no man for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years? What about those people? Now, if men think that they can do it, I doubt if it, maybe. But you guys comment down below. Can men do it? Like, I know some of them can do it, but like, what's the percentage? Can you guys tell me what the percentage can be? And let's just be honest and be frank to each other, okay? Let's not lie about things. Somebody told me that, oh, it's okay because, anyways, men are allowed to marry 2 wives. I'm like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with 2 wives. This has to do with your relationship with your spouse. This is not about polygamy or polygyny or whatever. This is about you and your spouse. This is about marriage. This is about family. This is about feelings. And I feel like some people don't consider those things. I know it's difficult on both sides. And to be honest, men also do go through it. Some men will get married to women that are in the diaspora. But most of the times, what I see is that some women, like the marriage, it just ends at some point because the woman probably falls in love with somebody. Especially if the woman don't have papers. What I see is that if the women have documents, they always quick to bring their husbands. That I see. But if they don't have papers, then that's a problem. But I noticed also that when some men will have papers, they don't want to bring women because of what? They probably seen their friend being cheated on by a woman that he brought to the diaspora. Because of what? They have seen their friend's wife shouting and yelling or disrespecting her husband. And they decide, oh, I'm not going to bring my wife. Because these women, their mind gets westernized when you bring them here. So I'm not going to bring her. So you're going to leave her there. Now, I think that is very, very selfish. I see some comments, so I'm going to read them. I think that's very selfish, though. Marcel said, but Sammy, sometimes our women have the mindset of when you married someone who is living in West, they have everything. You know how some Gambians think. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. You mean like some women, like they only think you have money if you're in the diaspora and don't want to marry men that are in the Gambia. That's what you're saying, because somebody also left that comment for me. And that's true. But what I'm saying is like that you shouldn't travel, but the decisions that you're going to take well, if that makes sense. Let's say you're getting married, like getting married without hopes that your wife is going to join you anytime soon or you're going to go back. What I'm saying is that if you're getting married, okay, even if you don't intend to bring your wife, but you have documents, then you should be able to have plans to go back and stay with that person then. Like you can't just be selfish. You don't want to bring me back, but you don't intend to go back anytime soon. It has to balance. And if you don't have papers, then don't get married or just marry somebody here. Now, the problem with that is most African men don't want to marry people in the diaspora, women in the diaspora, because they think that those ones they're too much, you know, especially the ones that always think about like women having, a westernized mind. Most of them want to marry somebody who is in Africa because they feel like those ones don't know a lot or they're not very much into that feminist thing. I'm not a feminist, by the way. So they prefer to marry somebody in Africa or in Gambia instead. And these are some of the problems. You marrying somebody in Gambia, you don't intend to bring that person, but are you willing to go back anytime soon? I just feel like they have to plan those things as well. And I know women also have a lot to do. Like you're marrying someone, you have to know who you're going to marry. You have to know their plans for you. And these are some questions that women don't ask anymore. They just, you in America, they just want to get married without knowing plans. People don't ask questions, especially they don't ask, okay, let's say this is a woman, and some men might find this very weird, but my advice to women is before you marry a man, you need to list down all the things that are important to you, okay? And they may not meet all the requirements, but there will be some that are more important than the others when looking for someone to marry, okay? For example, people don't talk about finances that well, but they expect you to be rich. They expect you to have money. Maybe they'll have it in their mind that, oh, this person looks like, he got something. But you never ask about their finances, the kind of job they do, how much they get paid. And then you get into the marriage, you realize that maybe they don't have a lot of money. You get mad about it. So those are things that needs to be asked. Opportunism and dependency are part of the problem from both sides. Well, that's true. I agree. I didn't disagree with anything that people were saying in the comment. I didn't disagree. I agree with everything. But we can do better. That's just what I'm saying. If I was married, my wife is coming with me, period. No 15 years of waiting for me. I could not do it. That's it. You have said it, and I'm sure that's what you're going to do. When I got married, I knew I was gonna join my husband because I knew my husband was not gonna come anytime soon. But I knew he was gonna take me because we talked about it. Because I seen those things happening, and I was young by then. I got married at 22. But I told him, I don't want to get married and stay here. I don't want to stay for 10 years. And I know he already had papers though. I have made up my mind not to marry anybody who don't have documents. Because I don't want to be like those women who got married in their 20s and now they're in their 40s and their husbands are still not back. I don't want to be like them. And women have a very, very, very short time to accomplish a lot of things like having kids, and sometimes, let's say you get married in your 20s and your husband stays for 15 years and now you're 35 and he's not back yet. Before you know, 5 years have passed. He's 20, you're in your 40s, like this, you reach menopause. Do you think because you waited for so long, it's going to prevent that man from having another wife and having kids, most of the time, women lose more than men would do. Let's just be frank. And I understand that some women, some men say that after so long, they usually give the women the right to marry somebody else if they see another man. But some women just says, no, I want to stay. But I feel like that has to do with the society as well. Because the moment you say, yes, I would rather go, or I want to marry somebody else, I can't wait anymore. Guess what? People are jumping into conclusions that you were probably cheating all this while. Oh, that's what she wants. She must have been cheating all this while. As soon as her husband told her that it's been 10 or 15 years and I don't know when I'm gonna come back, you can just, if you find somebody, get married. She jumped at it. She was so happy because she was cheating. And these diaspora wives, they go through a lot though, especially the ones that live with like a very big family, like in-laws. Some of them goes through a lot. Some of them have like a very nice family, and lucky you if you do. But the ones that are always fighting and getting into arguments or issues with their in-laws, those are the ones that like the husband will have no peace even though he's not living in the house, he's in the diaspora. And it will be fights and chaos until the day that marriage will end. To the extent that even if the woman goes out, people are calling the husband. She's always going out. She's cheating on you. I saw her with a man. Trust me, these wives go through a lot. But some men think when they don't buy land and build it, they will not go back. Now, that's true. People want to have, Africans want to have like everything settled. They want to have a house. They want to have like a very big business before they go back. So this is what is like confusing a lot of people, because you may have a house, but now you're finding a very big business that you can do, but you're finding it very hard to be able to save money. So you cannot go back. People want life, they just want to, they want their life to be perfect before moving back to Africa. So because you want your life to be perfect, it doesn't matter how long it takes. And some of the times, sometimes that life don't get perfect until 20, 30 years later. That's the worst part of it. Because if you know how things are here, every time you walk, 70% of your money stays here. And that's if you're working overtime. If you're working overtime. Or if you're not working overtime, you must be living a very low standard life. Okay. You must be living maybe not in a very good area, probably where you can pay very cheap rent, and you must be limiting how much bills you have. You must, I don't know, there's a lot of things that it involves when it has to have to do with you saving money in the diaspora. Most people, you have to work overtime apart from your regular 8-hour job or regular 3 days 12-hour shift job. You have to keep working extra days for you to be able to save even $200 or $300 per paycheck, which a lot of people don't save. It's just few people that do that. So that $100 a month or $200 a month that you're saving, how long is it gonna take for you to be able to settle and decides to go back to Africa? We just want the perfect life by the time we decide to move. That's just the problem. Angel said, this is so common. Husband leaving the woman behind and looking for more women in the diaspora, living a double life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't tell me, huh? Somebody should answer this question for me. See that this story that I just told you about a woman that have been married for 15 years plus. I'm just gonna assume it's 17 now, almost 20. But do you think that man have been faithful all these years? Like really? Trust me, I'm not saying women cheat, but women have like they're more they have more control to avoid cheating than men. Not, not all women, not all women though. Okay. So I put the link down below. If you guys hold on, guys, hold on, please. I don't know what's wrong with my kids. I'm back. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah. If it's possible, I don't think it's a lot of men that can do that, but women are expected to do it. Hi, Uncle Donnie. Thank you. 30 years without sleeping with women as you want your wife to wait for you. That is so bad. It is so bad. It is so bad. But it's happening. It's happening. Marriage is just like saving God. And Isaac said, if I was married, my wife is coming. Oh, I read that. It has to balance. That's the point, Sammy. It has to balance. But some men think, I need to charge this. Some men, so some men think what? Please, my sister, before getting married, ask the man, what is your plans? Exactly. And I think that's one of the problems that people have. People just get married to diaspora men without knowing their plans for them. Okay. We just have this big expectation that they're going to take us. We just have this big expectation that they're going to come or provide for us. And you know, the funny thing is that some women actually prefer a man that will marry them and just be sending money though. You know, so some women just prefer that to marrying somebody who is with you, who's living with you, but don't have a lot. You know, people want different things. And if you have a man, a woman who is like that, then I don't know what to say. She deserves it if she's going to be faithful. If she's going to be faithful, fine. But if she's not going to be faithful, whatever she gets from that marriage, she deserves it because some people will prefer money. Some people will say love with no money is no love. So it also depends on what the person wants. Donnie said it depends on the situation. If we are building wealth for the family, separation may be necessary, but long period separation is unacceptable. Exactly. That is exactly what I mean. Separation will happen, you know, if you're trying to build wealth, if you're trying to provide, you know, for your family. But like those very, very long ones, me, I can't. I just can't. And I'm just gonna be frank. And women are not expected to say this all the time. Oh, this internet connection. I need a man, I need my husband. Like they feel shy or ashamed to express their feelings. There are some things that you just can't say because people will look at you in a very weird way. And you don't want to be be looked at as maybe you're loose or you're spoiled, or, you know, it's very hard for a lot of women to express how they feel. It's very hard for a lot of women to maybe even call their parents or the man's parent and say, hey, I have been coping for a long time and I need to have a man now. I need my man. You'll be ashamed to say it because the society will look at you in a very disgusting way. And it's unfair. Sometimes our families are the problem in some marriage in Africa. Most of them, they've always been a problem. And what I also see is that when women get married, and this man is not there, some people, sometimes, most of the time, if the man is taking care of the family, okay, that I think that's another topic. If the man is taking care of the family and now the person is married and this now have two families to take care of, some families would think that the woman is the one eating the man's money because what they've been getting before has been cut into half. And they get mad at these women for nothing, forgetting that the man has two families now. It's his responsibility to take care of his wife. People get mad about it. Fighting women, fighting wives for just no reason, because of money, because your brother or your sister was sending you guys $100, but now cuts it to 50 because now he has to send the other 50 to the wife. People find that to be a problem. There's a lot of things that coming to this diaspora is causing in African families. Even though coming here has been a lot, it has been a blessing to many people because so many people would not have made like what they made today if they were not here. Not saying you can't make it in Africa. Of course you can make it. You just have to be determined and focused, and you're going to make it. But not everybody that stays in Africa is definitely going to make it. So sometimes traveling or migrating is definitely required. I will not advise any African woman living in Africa to marry a man in the diaspora who doesn't have papers. The same thing that I said. I said this to someone, and that I said this to somebody, and this person was related to me. I said she was marrying somebody that don't, and she don't know when this person is gonna have papers. I think the marriage was like 5 years ago. I told her, I said, you're marrying this person, they don't have papers. People are stopping those type of marriage. People are not getting into such relationships anymore because a lot of people are sitting and you're seeing examples and you're getting into that relationship. But all they say is, I love him, I'll wait. But at some point, these are the people that will just go and get tempted. And in 5 years, this person don't have papers. It's going to 10 years. You're going to be part of those women. And I'm not judging these women though. I'm just not judging that. I just need people to make better decisions and not focus on the money and not focus on the somebody is in the diaspora or wanting to marry a semester. Semester is anybody that is in the West, you know. Make better decisions for your life because marriage is a long-term contract, lifetime contract anyways. It's not even long-term, it's for life. And the way our society is set up, we don't just break marriages like that because you don't have a man or you're missing your husband. It doesn't break like that, even though you can. But maybe you're scared for the embarrassment you're going to cause your family, the disgrace, the pointing of fingers. Talking about that, what about the men that will do DNA tests because they want their wives to come to America, and they find out that they're not the father of those children. Devastating. I can't even imagine that, like, for anybody, any man, any of my brothers. I can't imagine it. After taking care of these people, kids for so long, having trust in your wife, and boom, they're not your kids. And these are things that happen. It's crazy. Why not bring the wife to the diaspora and live together, and both bringing income better? You can achieve your goals quicker and return to Africa. Okay. Of course, a lot of people do that. Okay. A lot of people do that, but it's not everybody. That's why I say, if you don't have papers, how are you going to bring her? If you don't have papers, you can't bring her. And if you're that selfish type who says you're not bringing a woman to the diaspora, there is two or three kinds of men, African men, that comes to the diaspora. The ones that come want to make it and go back home. The ones that come want to bring their wife so that they can help each other, and so that they can easily go back home in the future. Okay. The ones that come and stay, decides not to go back, gets married, and leave women behind, not wanting to bring that woman, but going back every 1 year to satisfy their needs. You think a woman is going to be satisfied because you stay for 1 month? No, my dear. That's why I see all these women crying every time their husbands are going back home. They know what they're crying for. They have feelings, and I said this, and I know some people are gonna look at me like, "Ooh, what are you talking about?" But yes, that's the truth. The same way you have feelings is the same way they have feelings. I don't understand why in the African culture women are not supposed to express how they feel. I did a video one time, I think it was me and Aji, talking about that called Taba or something. And people were attacking us, attacking me, telling us that we are a disgrace, talking about things like that, and talking about sex and our women. Say you guys are a disgrace. I'm like, you can't even say what you like in the African culture. You can't say what makes you happy. You can't talk about how you feel about your man. You can't talk about to how you want to be satisfied. And I think because some of us are coming on the media to talk about it, people should just appreciate that and be quiet. And most of the times, it's people that are in that kind of situation that will attack you, that you shouldn't talk about it. Hi, Aji, how are you?
Sammy Stress. Hey, my sister, how are you? By the way, you look beautiful.
Aji,
Hello?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, really?
Oh, sorry. I can
Yeah,
hear
Sammy,
you now. It's okay.
nango too local for internet. Be. Hi, everyone. Hello,
Thank
guys.
you.
How are you? How are you guys? Sammy, you look
Nangema.
beautiful. You look beautiful, by the way. Are you UDP?
Oh, thank you.
You're supporting UDP lately. Okay, guys, hello. You know me being silly. I just love the fun. Well, I just have to say a very interesting topic, and you're doing good, Sammy. And I think we need this kind of topic or topics in our society. Like once in a while, come out and talk about some of these things because someone might be out there married to a beautiful young lady and left them in Africa for ages and thinking that it's okay. Um, because he or she is in the picture thinking that okay, because no one said anything, or my wife is not saying anything, it's okay, which of course it's not. And maybe few people watching us won't know that many of our sisters back home are going through this. But at the end of the day, I would say I will blame the men on one side, but I will also blame my sisters on the other hand. I will try to break it down. I love it when we do topics like this because sometimes our brothers do say if we don't speak our mind or tell them what we are going through, they don't know what we are going through unless we tell them. I saw
mm,
many Gambians back home, like my sisters that have been waiting for their husbands for more than 10 years, 15 years, especially those that are married to people in America, because in UK or around Europe, somewhere in Sweden, Holland, all those places, it's easy for we Africans to have our documents when we go there or here. But in America, literally, it might take you 15 years or more. So I think sometimes it's really unfair to the lady leaving your wife in there, or sometimes you leave them with kids, so many kids. And in sometimes it happens when the guy just married this woman before he travels. So if that happens, this woman
mm,
obviously wouldn't have a choice but to still wait for the husband. But sometimes men in the diaspora would know that, okay, I'm here. I don't have my papers, like you said. And they freaking go ahead and marry a woman in Gambia. And sometimes this is the place that decide that I will blame the woman or our woman. Like I always say, let's
mm,
call a spade a spade. Some of us, most of us back home, we don't want to marry any other normal, ordinary guy, like a typical Gambian guy that lives in the Gambia, that's doing a carpentry job in Gambia, that's literally doing a welding job, that's doing the engineering job, that's literally in the Gambia. We just prefer someone who lives in the diaspora, thinking that you know what, if I marry this person, they will do the whole world for me. Like I will live in a nice house. I'll be getting money from Western Union or money transfer every month, and this person can take care of me and my family. Because this is how some of us, the Gambian women, think. You will meet a Gambian woman back home and ask them out, they will even kiss their teeth on you. Me, I don't even want you. Why do you think I would literally get married to you? Like I'm not your class, Mandumasa class, and all of that. Trying to look down on our brothers, and that's why if you look at it, most of our brothers that even took the back way, they will tell you, oh, I need a wife. If I don't go the back way and start sending money or first jump, no woman would literally marry me. And so they also contribute a lot without knowing that they're contributing in things like this. Sammy, I saw this lady that when I was in Gambia, she is married to a guy that lives in America. And this guy literally has been in America when I was in Gambia for almost 18 years. He never visited Gambia. This lady was struggling in that marriage. At the end of the day, all the guy was doing was paying her rent. She was selling normal cold water, ice, all of that. So even the fridge, I did a videos long distance relationship. Even the fridge that this lady was using to sell her eyes and all of this stuff, the fridge was leaking underneath. She had to take a plate all the time and put it underneath that fridge to avoid that leakage to go everywhere in the house. And yet still the husband is in America. She's been married to this guy for almost 18 years. She's been going back and forth to the family of the guy. Oh, this guy needs to come, or if not, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And this guy, like, he was struggling with his papers, but later on he got married to some other lady and got his papers, but he was not still going home. At the end of the day, what happened? This lady ended up getting divorced. So I'm just saying, this lady wasted 18 years of her freaking life waiting for some guy that she knew at the end of the day it was gonna go like that. Like, seriously, And the other part of it is when we get married to our brothers and they're in the diaspora, most of us, the ladies, we sit at home waiting for them. At the end of the day, when they come, the cheating happens a lot. And when the cheating happens, obviously, the guy would sit here chasing different women, sleeping with different women. Sometimes, like, they would literally block you on their all social media pages, Facebook or everywhere, or WhatsApp. Or once if they call you this week, before they call you back is another week. So I just can't understand it. For me, I just say my man under my armpit. Yes. I can't do the long distance relationship. Sammy, I can't, like, I hate struggling. If you watch my video, divorce video, Sammy, I said I hardly sleep at night if I don't cuddle. I struggle. So I'm the kind of person that is really tactile. I'm very tactile. I love the touching, cuddling, kissing, and all of that. So I'm thinking if I date someone that is even in another country, damn, literally, I wanna have that. I can't be spending my whole life on the phone, the romance, the non to flit. Like, seriously, it's for me, like, we're all different, we want different things in life. For me, it's literally a waste of time. If I'm dating you and you're somewhere in the Europe, you're telling me next week I will come, this following week, nah, you have to go. Ladies, we shouldn't, like, let any guy waste our time. And like you said, to our brothers, if you know that you don't have papers, or if you know that you have papers and you have no plans of going to Gambia not anytime soon, please just look for a normal girl in Europe. Even if you're going to marry Tuba, good luck, that's your problem. But at the end of the day, you left your woman. Sometimes, some maybe because I was not listening properly, I was literally on the phone. Sometimes what they do is marry this woman back home and leave them there. And at the end of the day, this woman will be cheating. You will see them from one compound to another. They'll be cheating until the whole community knows that, do they jabari doula. But at the end of the day, she's sleeping here and there, one bed. At the end of the day, you become so foolish. You become like the talk of the town. You're from one compound to another.
Mm.
Sometimes you marry a guy from here, the guy wouldn't even send you money. Every day he will give you excuses. And like some of us, we are too materialistic too. We just believe that, okay, if he marries me, he's going to take me to Europe. Duh. It does not happen just like that. Oh, if I'm dating this guy, I'm just going to go to Europe the next minute. No, we need to look who we get date, who we are in a relationship with, who we are, like, we need to plan our lives, Sammy. Some of us, we want, not if we hear the word Europe, hey, I don't need to tell you, our sisters, like, I was literally watching a bit and I was on the phone and I said, you know what, it would be nice to have another Gambian sister, Sammy, to come here. And most of the time, Sammy, what they do is they leave their wives there, and they will marry another lady in this country or wherever they are, living with this lady, hiding from their wives that they are married to someone else. Before they call their wives to check on them or their kids, it would take ages. They'll be giving excuses. Sometimes they will marry to another lady, living with the lady and telling the lady that, oh, the wife would even call and introduce the wife like, she's my cousin. And sometimes they will even have their papers. The wife that they are married with here, they will travel with that wife all the way to the Gambia, and they will live with this wife in the same compound with the other wife that they forced married, and they will still tell this wife that they came from Europe with and says she's my sister. And the other wife is struggling, living with that stress, and accepting that she's a cousin or a sister to this man. Like, a lot of things has been happening, which our brothers do. And some, if you look at it, 90% of Gambian women, if they marry a guy, if they're in the diaspora and they marry a guy back home, they do all they can to just bring that guy. Women will try everything they can to bring the guy. And it's so quick when a woman marries a guy back home and to bring them here. The men would sit here and marry a lady that is richly back home. And all the excuse that you will
Mhm.
hear from them is, I'm not going to bring my wife here. If I bring my wife here, uh, when she's got her papers, she'll start misbehaving. She will start. No, then don't marry a wife back home. They will give you
It's just
all
being
those.
selfish.
Yes, because those are the excuses that you give. But then, Sammy, we are all women. Our body needs our men. And literally, if my body, hey, let me go straight to the point. You know me, I said, if that thing scratch, itches, you have to give it what it wants. And if it does, obviously, fuma wako fofu la khesen. Let me just say it in Wolof. Fuma wako, fuma wako. Ah, fofu khesen. So literally, if that happens, sometimes you need your man to cuddle up to do all of those things. So if this guy is not there, you just have to be struggling. Some of these women are getting so sick that when they take them to the hospital, they will tell your husband, where is your husband? He's in the diaspora. Tell your husband he needs to come and do the jiggy jiggy. So if he's not there to do the pakadla, so you're just gonna be there. That's why this stress. So many women are stressed back home. So many women are depressed back home. You will see a beautiful lady even walking. You might be even calling her, hi, Sammy. The person will not even know that you are calling them because the body needs that. Drop it. The body needs to drop it like it's hot. So,
True.
Sammy, it's not easy. Sammy, you will marry to a guy and the guy is in the diaspora. It's sad. You'll be sitting here for 20 years in Gambia waiting for this guy. All that time you've been ovulating, seeing your menstruation, you're waiting for this guy to make babies. Sammy, you sit until you get to the age that you menopause. You won't have kids. No guy would not marry you. You just sit there until you don't have
Hmm.
kids. And yeah, so many people are back home. They waited until now they're struggling doing fertility programs just to have a baby. And Sammy, if they marry us back home, what they do is maybe every 2 years they come once. In that 2 years, maybe 2 weeks. What if this guy comes at the period of you seeing your period, or at the period of like the time that you are not ovulating to make babies? It means that he's been coming and going for nothing. All of this happens. Like, men should consider some of these things that they do to us. But then if we don't speak out, maybe they feel like, oh, what I'm doing is okay. So they continue doing it. Because when I
Yeah,
did the
because they
video.
feel like that,
Mhm,
Aji, because of the society.
mhm,
They feel like it's okay. And I know some of them know that it's wrong, and some of them they feel for these women, but because they have it in their mind, they have to make it, they have to make money, so they have to stay. But they know, some people I know, they feel guilty about what is going on or what they're doing. But okay, talking about those women, let's talk about the diaspora women as well, okay, that gets married to these men. Okay, men will have wives in Africa, and then they'll get married most times to white women or African American women. Okay, knowing they are not in love with them. It's true. It happens
mhm,
because
mhm.
those are the paper wives. Those are the document wives. And then the one in Africa is like the one that you love and want to be with. So marrying somebody just because you need papers from them, they will do everything that you need. They'll cook for you. They will do anything just because they need that paper. Then as soon as they have that paper, it's time to leave you because they know you are a document wife. And we do all these things and then we call ourselves Muslims sometimes. It's crazy, because the religion itself does not even accept condone things like that. But for the love of money and our society being so brainwashed about the diaspora, people do it. How many men here have got married to women in the diaspora because of papers? At the end of the day, they will not stay with them. When they have their papers, they will leave. And we leave those women either with a child, or we leave them heartbroken, or we leave them not trusting men again. It's not fair to those ones too. In as much as we're talking about the ones in Africa, but there are ones here too that are being taken advantage of. because a man needs need his documents. Some people will be in a hurry to leave you so that they can bring their African wife. It's not fair to both women, the ones in Africa and the ones in the diaspora. And I
Sammy,
watched
someone
a
wants,
video
sorry,
with,
someone wants me to speak
say that
Wolof.
again.
Someone wants me to speak Wolof.
Because when you speak Wolof, you go deep, so they want to hear you deep. That's why. Anyways, and I watched this video about it was three African American women talking about how African men are liars and they lie to you, they marry you, but they only marry you for documents. And I felt it because they went through it. It's sad, you know. At first it used to be like, well, in Europe it's mostly mostly white people, but in America it's both blacks and whites, as long as you're not like born and raised in Africa or in Gambia. Most times you get married to some people and they will use you as a diaspora wife, even though we have good people though who will marry you, fall in love with you and love you. But some of these men, some of them that marry already have wives back home, and they'll come here and marry you, and their main purpose is to get their documents. Now if you're marrying because you love the person, okay, that's what you want, you can take two wives, but even with that, most people will lie about it. They will not let the American wife know that they already have a wife. They won't let them know because they know that most American women don't like the polygyny. They don't accept it, so they would just hide that. But most times the African wife knows that you have a wife. The man will tell the African wife, I have a wife, but they won't tell the American wife. Okay. And the African wife will have to know what time to call you, or you will only call them, but they will not call you just in case you're around this woman. you know and these women, sometimes they fall in love with you so deep, they're expecting to have a family with you. And the worst part is that they will not have kids. It's planned. It's a planned marriage not to have kids, but it's planned only by the man. You get what I'm saying, Aji?
Yeah, Sammy, I'm just struggling right now with my tablet because I want to share the video and my tablet just went off, so I can't even read the comments. But last time I read something, Lamin wants me to speak Wolof because I go crazy when I speak Wolof. Okay, Sammy, what I wanted to say is you're talking about African men, and you're talking about our men doing the polygamy, and then something. I am one of those Gambians that always proudly comes out and say, "I'm marrying a Tubab, I'm marrying a Christian." Yes, I proudly say that. Okay, I'm marrying a Christian because I can't deal with the polygamy. Even if you're Gambian, you have to be a Christian for me to marry. Oh my God. Why am I so silly? Okay, Sammy, I would love to speak Wolof a bit,
Go
but
ahead.
before I speak Wolof, I wanted to share on my thing so that maybe some people on Aji's Corner might want to come and watch too. But I'm a little bit shy to speak Wolof because the thing is, I don't know if our African American brothers and sisters would understand what I'm going to say. So okay, the Assalamu alaikum ni setan. This is funny. Okay, yéen ñëpp ñi ma seetaan di déglu maa ngi leen a nuyu ku nekk sa tur ak sa sant. Topic bi tey moo nekkoon Sami dafa defoon benn vidéo bu ndaw di waxtaanee mbiri góor ñi nga xam ne ñooy takka seen jabar nekka ci biir Europe bii nii takka jabar ba pare bàyyi seen jabar gannaaw kër. So lim defoon maanaam mooy pour waxtaan ak góor ñi ak waxtaan ak jigéen ñi, parce que gis na ne ñu bari ñu ngi toog kër di especially Gambia di go through lu mel nii te as a sister te mu feel ne am na plateforme boo xam ne mun na waxtaan ak mbokkay ak mbootaay bi pour ñu seet di gestu seen gannaaw tamit xam affaire si ni moo demee ñu seetaat suñ boppa daal ñu seet suñ tooguwaay maanaam maa ngi fa woon bi mu defee vidéo bi premier ko live after mu wax ma ne dafa bëgg pour ñu ñëw together ñu def vidéo bi live I think ne is very important because man façon bi laa dee gën a bëgg a dee waxtaane sax xam nga suñ nit ñi sakatuma si mbiri sëy Sami li moo wax daal mooy dafa métti pour jigéen nga nekk jigéen góor takka la ba pare bàyyi la gannaaw parce que dara gënut métti wéetaay wéetaay ki ko ñeme rek man xam nit ñi naka lañ ko mën a defee sax ba pare pour mu waxa suñ broda yi tamit because xëj na tey waaye ngee def dara loo xam ne mu ngi foog ne li moo def dafa ok daal it's normal li man daal dugga naa fi bu yàggut te li ma fi wax mooy Sami, am I sounding funny? maa ngi fi
No, you're not. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
sorry. Let
ahead,
me
but don't
just
keep it short so that we can talk in English, because there's a lot of people that are watching that don't
yeah,
understand what you're saying.
exactly.
They're already asking. So
Yeah,
just keep it
exactly.
short, like
So,
summary.
yeah. So, okay, summarize it. So, Sami li moo jéem a wax mooy comme góor ñi jigéen ñi ñu gestu suñ gannaaw di xam ne soo bàyyee jabar gannaaw sa jabar dafa am yoo xam ne moom la soxla dafa soxla jikaram benn ba pare pour ñeneen ñi nga xam ne ñoo dee nekk si biir Europe bi tamit amuñ kayit xam nga ne yaa ngi fi ñëw amuloo kayit sa tooguwaay rafetul nga bàyyi sa xel ne ok soo buggee jabar sa takkal jabar fii because soo takkee jabar bàyyi ko kër kooku yàlla xam na ne yow danga koo sonal because benn sa jabar soxla na góor bu mu tëddu beneen sa jabar soxla na góor boo xam ne nekk na fa te ñu si bari dañoo takk seen jabar yi ba pare bàyyi seen jabar yi ak seen famille ñu nekk fa daal maanaam di soona Sami, I think that's where I got stop. So yo dugga si loolu.
Okay. Who, me? You talking to me?
Yeah, I said say it in English.
Aji?
Yeah, man laa dégga. Hello? Are you hearing me? Yaa ma dégga.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Waaw man laa dégga. Sami, man laa dégga.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I said I'm hearing you.
Huh?
Man laa dégga.
Can you guys hear me or hear Aji? I don't know whose network it is. Is it Aji? Let me know who you can hear.
Sami, yaa ma dégga. Hello?
Okay. Aji, can you hear me now?
Yeah, man laa dégga. Yaa ma dégga.
Yeah.
Waaw, okay, yeah. Yeah, yow mun ngaa wax si English then man dinaa ko faram fànca si both English ak Olof. I think I'm more comfortable with that.
Okay. With
Yeah.
Wolof? Okay, that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was reading some of the comments that I got, and then someone said, Isaac, I believe, that I got on the last video. He said, facts, double standard, keep dropping knowledge. We got a lot of work to do as a global family. Men, we got to do better by our women. There is no us without them. Love her every day. Life is short. Oh, love that. Thank you. Somebody said, I knew a brother who was very, very poor in Gambia. He traveled abroad and left.
I think it's Sammy's network. Are you guys hearing me? Then I can take over from her. If you're hearing me, please write it on the comment section below. I think Sammy is having an issue with her network. Hello? Hello? Sammy, are you there? Oh, okay. Yeah, just let me just take it from there then. I think she's having an issue with her reception. So guys, like I was saying, it's it's kind of funny for me to speak Wolof, Okay, like I was saying in Wolof, I was just trying to break it down to so that our brothers would. Oh, Sammy, hey, Sammy, how can I have two Sammys in one
Yeah,
platform? Okay, perfect. You're back.
I'm back. It's the
I
network.
think it's your network.
I'm so sorry. So, like I was saying, I don't think you guys heard me. Am I still
Mm,
frozen?
I'm hearing you, Sammy. Maladigo.
Okay. And then this guy bought cars and trucks and very expensive mansion. After the 11th year, so the man stayed for 10 years. After the 11th year, he came back, and today you see them, you won't even know they went through struggles. I think sometimes the hardest way is the best way forward. Being home with nothing is really hard, and when you see others with something. What he's trying to say is that this guy traveled, and stayed for 10 years, but he got everything. Like he basically, made it from nothing to something. And the 11th year, he went back. Basically, he's saying the woman was faithful and, stick through the hard times. And today they're living a good life. And it's a lot of stories like that too. So there's both the good stories and the bad stories, uh, like pros and cons, okay, to this migration. And these women would also stay sometimes and do everything. They will even help the man build a house, and they're enjoying at the same time, but just that they don't have the man. You get what I'm saying? So because somebody stayed and stick through the hard times, and the man has made it, a lot of money, cars, mansions, doesn't make it okay. It doesn't. The woman is in love, you got to do what you got to do. You want to stay and wait and have faith in God. That's what the lady did. And her trust in God and the love she has for him, you know, helped her make it through this 11 years long distance marriage. But it doesn't make it right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying people shouldn't be traveling, but we should be making good decisions. That's what I'm saying. I have no problem with people traveling. Like I said, I was in Gambia. My husband is here. I stayed in Gambia for 1 year, which was not a lot, but it's still something. I know I can't compare it to people who have stayed for over 10 years. I can't compare it to them. I'm just saying it's not right. Even if you stay, okay, you're here, you have to plan to bring that woman. I'm talking about people also who are very selfish, who don't want to bring women because they feel they're going to be betrayed, or the woman is going to have that Western mindset. I'm talking about those people. And then I'm also talking about men who are getting married to women without even like planning to go back home, and they don't even have papers, and they don't know when they're gonna have papers. Okay, we were blaming women at some point, and I understand that point too. But do you know some of these people will get married to women that they don't also you know they just, maybe somebody introduced them to that person and they know they don't have papers. I have seen men who have told their family members, listen, if I don't have papers, I am not marrying. I've seen that. And honestly, that's the right thing to do. If you don't have papers and you have no hope of having it, do not get married. Then you want to have a wife, or your wife cheats and you get mad about it. But you already staying for 3, 4 years. Maybe she can handle it. If she cheats 3, 4 years, 5 years, just let her go if she wants to go. She probably can't handle it. She can't handle long distance relationship. But the society has made it in a way that the woman is going to be seen as a prostitute and probably never get married again.
Sami for the matter. I think it's her network. Like she was saying, um,
Hi,
sometimes
Dee.
we hi Afro.
Internet,
Is that
this
Yeah.
African
internet is
millennial?
driving me crazy today. But anyways, African Millennial is here.
Sammy,
African Millennial, thank you
do
for
you need some
joining.
internet? I can give you a bucket of internet from my email.
No, I think I'm in your house in Gambia. I beg.
You need to start climbing trees, Start climbing trees.
Aji lives in a very bad place, so that's where I am. Anyways, African Millennial, thank you for joining and welcome to the panel. What do you have to contribute?
Oh yeah, no, this subject, I know it's serious, but I'm sorry. I find it funny too because
It's okay. It's okay.
because
It's serious
seriously,
though.
I can't believe this nonsense is still happening, and I feel bad for the ladies. Like seriously, if you're back home, right, and your husband hasn't come, or he keeps going back and forth, but there's no news on the visa, like when are we gonna be together? Then that marriage is just over. Let's be honest here. That marriage is over. I feel really bad for the ladies, but to be honest, some don't care too because they're getting the money from the man.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. And like the thing about back home is with these marriages too, like you can't just leave like that, right? Because your family already. I'll tell you this. Like if it was my family, they would be happy because you're marrying somebody from abroad, so they would actually support it no matter what. They say don't leave, just stay because he's giving us money every month. So I don't know, but I find it. I just find it funny. I don't know. A long distance relationship. I think long distance relationship, the maximum I think is maybe, to be honest, I don't know, but I personally I don't think I could do more than 3 years. I think after 3 years, if nothing is happening, then the relationship is just over, to be honest, because who's waiting 5, 10 years? Do you know how long 10 years is? If you have a child, leave that child for 10 years. They're already going to be a teenager. Like 10 years is a long time, especially if you're a woman. 10 years? Are you crazy? Let's say if I'm 25 now, right? 10 years, I'm 35. Do you know how much time that is for a woman, especially for your body? Are you
Yeah.
crazy? Nah. I say 3 years maximum. If nothing happens in 3 years, goodbye. It was nice. I'm moving on. By that time, like let's be honest here. If you're in a different position, you've already met other people. Like you already connected with somebody else. You know, they say that cheating is only like when you're in bed with somebody. Cheating can be emotional cheating too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you
Yep.
spend too much time with somebody, even in a workplace, you spend a lot of time with somebody, you're growing closer with that person. So you're telling me in 10 years you didn't grow close with somebody? Oh, come on. So yeah.
Thank you so much, African Millennial. Like she said, cheating can also be done emotionally, especially if you stayed for so long without your partner. You can see somebody and admire that person. You can see somebody and have it, you make that picture in your mind as if you're having something with them. That also is considered cheating, you know? And while staying in the diaspora and your wife is abroad, you realize she can also fall in love with somebody else? And if she unfortunately falls in love with another person, but still in that marriage, she's almost likely to cheat on you, like, physically. She's almost likely to cheat on you. And maybe even if you decide to come back every 1 year, she might be in love with this person now instead of you. So this long distance relationship is causing a lot of things in our marriages, our relationships, and very negative things. You have people that are married and you decide to bring your wife, but they're already in love with somebody else in Africa whilst they were there. What can they do about it? It has to do with their feelings. And when you look at it, there's nothing they can do about it except leave the marriage, which some people will not do it. Some people will not leave the marriage after staying for so long, but it is what it is. I'm sorry, my internet is so bad today. IG, you want to say something to what
Tammy,
African
I told
Millennial
you.
just said?
I told you. If you need a barrel of internet, tell me. I have enough here, so I can send you a barrel.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Say
Like
something
what?
to what African Millennial said.
Yeah. What? Like, like to contribute on what she was saying. Yeah. I don't blame her if she says it's funny because at the end of the day, at this DNA, you would thinking like, I'm thinking like there are more things that, or many things that Africans would just leave behind. If I say Africans, I would just generalize it. All of us, both men and women, there are things that we should just say, you know what, this is 2021. Let's just fold it like paper or something we don't need and put it in the bin. But like if you come with the culture, if you go back to the culture and religion and all of that, it's really hard to for that to happen. Like for example, she's saying, oh, 3 years is enough for her. Hey, let me tell the truth. For me, 1 month I can't do. I can always say, my man under my armpit. I want to be touching. I want to be emotional, like physically. When I say touching, joxma ko ma jox la ko, door ma mu daanu. I want to be touching. I want to be romancing. Hey, man, I listen. I eat salt every day. I drink water. I eat food. So all of these things will go to my body and process, and my body will literally ask for a man. This man needs to come and do his job. You see me, I hate when people are talking and making it nice. No, let's call a spade and touch it where it is. We women, even when we don't have that physical touch or whatever with our men, we all know that we get stressed. Even if you say, Aji, I'll just start getting stressed over nothing. So let's talk about this thing. Like African millennials say, 3 years. Like I swear to God, 3 years is just too much for me. So
Yeah,
knowing myself, I think African millennial, what you should understand is, like, we women should know ourselves, study ourselves, and ask ourselves, can I do this? But you know what? I think sometimes we just get carried away with love, feelings, and who we met and what they say to us. And some of us, this is where we make mistakes. We don't get to go deep and ask questions. And let me tell you something. This happens with lots of us African women. We don't like going deep. We don't like asking questions. You start asking questions, you be like, oh, this guy would think that I'm desperate, or this guy would think that I want him to marry me. No, you need to ask to know in details. I will tell you, many African women would get married to a guy that they would even know that this guy haven't got his status in Europe. And many of us are so ignorant that we would even like true. Like when I
that's
say
true.
things, I love
Yeah,
going
she's
straight
saying
to
the
the point.
truth.
Exactly. Many of us are so ignorant that we wouldn't even think that, we don't even know that if someone does not have papers, you can't go to Africa. That's how ignorant we are. We're just thinking that, oh, if I get married to him, he's coming next week. And some of us, we won't even know that this guy haven't got papers, but we live in, the mystery life, or I don't know how they call, we live in our own imaginary worlds, that thinking that, oh, he does not have his papers, he might have it next week, he might have it the following. But have you asked this person, what have you been doing to get your papers? What stage are you? If you have your papers, when are you going to come? How long do you have to stay in that country to have your papers? Because sometimes it's not even getting married to someone else. Sometimes you can have certain years in one country and apply for a status because you've stayed there for so long. That even happens in Gambia. But I'm telling you, the African mentality is mental. Ñun dañ derkis. Ñun fuñ dee halate ak fuñ dee ñu. This is not a laugh, but ñun dañ derkis. You see, this is the problem. When I start speaking all of you start laughing. Yeah, subhanallah. Hey, gis nga ñun dañ derkis ba nga xam ne ñun dara mënuñu génnee si suñ men. You see, you might even tell that African that this is the reality and put it right on our face, like rub it there. We still believe in the things that we believe. Sometimes that's why we are so easy to be fooled by women. An African lady, a married woman, will come and tell you, oh, when I met my husband, this is what he said to me. And this must have been so many lies and things that were hidden that 10 years after marrying the person. And then you want to come back and talk about those things. Like, seriously, who is even going to, like, we need to fix up. We just need to fix up.
Okay. Let me quickly say a very short story here that happened recently that I know. I know these people. This man is here, but he was with the wife in Africa, And then they didn't have kids because he didn't plan to have kids, because I guess it wasn't time for them to have kids because of financial issues. Now this guy came to America, okay, and he was here for about 4 years, and after 4 years he got his documents. Then he started going back home. He goes, I think, at least once a year. So he went twice, and then he had now right now he has 2 kids. When he went, his wife got pregnant, but before he has his documents, this wife, I used to talk to her, and she used to be like, please guys, pray for me so my husband can have documents so I can join my husband. Keep praying for me. She wanted to come and join her husband so bad that every time you're talking with her, you can't have a conversation with her without her just, basically, I would say bugging you, because sometimes you get tired of it. You're like, we're praying, you're gonna come. Don't worry, you're gonna come. It's like, I miss my husband. It's been so long. I mean, guys, pray for me. Now, this husband have papers and went back to Africa, and this wife was pregnant and had a baby, and the husband went back again, and the wife had a second child. Guess what? The husband came back to America from his second visit and got married to somebody here, another African. This woman was left heartbroken. You know why? Because she's going to be the one who's going to be there, and she's going to be the one to go through one 1 month a year of intimacy with her man. She's going to be that woman, maybe for the next 20, 30 years, because I don't know when that man is going to go back home. That's ridiculous. This woman was devastated, because she, like, when I talked to her, she was like, this means I'm never coming there. I will never live with him again. How could he do this to me? And this is unbelievable. You left a woman back home, and this woman wants to join you so bad. This woman is praying for you, bugging people so you can get papers. This woman is doing everything, telling people to join you guys in their prayers just so she can join you here. You have documents. You never thought of bringing her. You decide to marry somebody else. I'm not saying nobody should marry 2 wives. If it's part of the culture, it is what it is. But why does she deserve to be the one to stay and see you once a year? Why is she the one that deserves that? It's unfair. And men that are doing that, it is unfair, and you have to know this. Whether your woman tells you this or not, it is not fair. I felt so bad for this person. And that pain will forever be in her, even though she's still in the marriage, enjoying her life, taking care of her kids. But she will never forget that betrayal. And the fact that she will not be with this man for the next couple of years. Come on. Anyways, thank you so much, Ori. Thank you for joining. And yeah, what do you have? I know you have you have your own points, on the side of men, but go ahead. I would like to hear it because they're important.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In addition to what you just said, Sammy, it's so unfortunate for that woman. What the short story you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
From this topic, the last time where I read this topic, it was so interesting. But I'm going to be standing on the side of the men.
Mm-hmm.
You see, everybody understands the way they practice their love. But you see, the truth of the matter is this. When we talk of marriage, it should be something interesting, enjoyable, fantastic, sarcastic, and everything that can make you happy for the rest of your life, right? But when it comes to traveling, let's be honest. Let me quick ask a question. Who out of the women on the forum here wants to live with a man that is poor? Can anybody vote that? Yes, we want to live with a man. We want to go into a marriage with someone that is poor. or if they have opportunity of making it better in life, you don't want them to go. You want to be rather poor than to for that person to risk to go and make money. I don't think any woman wants to vote for that, right?
Of course, no woman wants to have a poor man. Okay, nobody wants to live with a poor man, but we're not talking about the men that are poor. We're talking about the men that have the mindset that they cannot make it in Africa, and also have the mindset of going and sacrificing, leaving family behind with a visitor's visa. You are not guaranteed to have papers. I'm not even talking about the ones that win the lottery visa. Those people are guaranteed to have their green cards as soon as they come, so they can bring
Good.
their wives. But the ones that are having visitors visa and coming, it don't make no sense. Then you come here, you stay for 20 years or 10 years with no papers. Sometimes we have to also look at
Okay.
how much we're sacrificing.
All
And
right.
some of these people, it's not as if they're
This
poor, poor, poor.
okay. This is it, man. Sister Sammy, I already understand your points. For every man that travels out, mostly they go there is a game of gamble. Let me go and make success. That is what the man travel for. Okay, having going there, like for instance, before you travel for all men, I think you have to have
Mhm.
your purpose. You have to set your time frame. Like, okay, I'm going there. I want to go Ozu. I know I'm going with my visa, my visit visa. But I know when I get there, I want to disappear into the air. For how long? What is my purpose of doing this? Disappearing, leaving my wife behind and my kids. Okay, you have to have all this set on ground. Soon as you get there, if you can really work hard, everybody know how we can work in the country without our paperwork done yet. If you have your real target, you can go there, do whatever you want to do. You have your target. Oh, I need so amount of money. If I get this, I can use it back home to establish this, that. Maybe you have a 5 years mindset with your wife. You all plan. Remember, when you get there, things might not work the way you plan. But for most of the men that really know what they want, when they get there, they start working and start, going as planned. On the other side of women, sorry to say, I must tell you this. Most of our, with all due respect, most of our women sometimes quickly lose that trust. I'm from Nigeria, like you might know. Most of the women back there, soon as friends start telling them stories, that man is gone forever. The white women are going to hold him there, blah, blah, blah. Before you know what, this woman will start messing up already, start disappointing. I mean, start misbehaving. And before you know what, the breakdown of the family or the relationship might even come from the woman. And another thing I want to talk about here is this. To be honest, like I said on the on your page the other day, men, when you get here, you are really serious. You know what you want. You know what exactly brought you to this country, and you're working hard 247. You don't even have time to even look into any beautiful girl or whatever. You know what exactly brought you here. You can easily hold your body. Most of the men can control themselves. But
Mm,
I mean, the doctor said
I
most
mm,
don't
women,
think so.
most men cannot hold
I didn't hear
body.
that one. No. Ah.
No,
Let me
women
laugh.
can hold body. Men can hold body now. Men can hold body. They cannot even think about it. You might not even think about it for
For
2 years,
where?
3 years.
Which
For
kind
where?
lie they talk?
For where?
Yeah.
This
I
African
said
millennial
which
just
kind
said
lie
something.
you they speak.
Ah, my brother.
No, not lie. This is not lie because your system will not even be working. Okay, take for instance, a man that go for 16, 18 hours out of a day. Even though a lady come to your house and say, "Hey, oh boy, I need you. I want you to service me." Which bone, which energy do you want to use to service that lady? There's no more energy. Out of your 24 hours, you already use 18 hours
Then
working.
then this man have been wanking for 25 times in the day just to hold
Say that
himself.
again.
Then that man must have been wanking 25 times a day to hold himself.
Working long hours. The energy that you're supposed to use for any woman is gone already. To be honest, you can't.
No, 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 no. Ori, please, let's not say
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Let's not say that. You know what? Like, you're talking to women who have been who have been married before. I just have been married. I'm not sure about African millennial, and I'm married. And you're saying what? Like,
Yes, Sister Sammy, you know the
work has
truth. You know the
nothing
truth. This
work
is it.
has nothing work has nothing to do with, like, I feel like it is women that come and say, I'm tired from work, or they work too much, they're tired. That's why women need that break from work so that they can do their, like, wifely duties, which includes taking care of the home and taking care of their husband. That's why it's not advisable if you get married to let your wife work too much. She can work her regular 8-hour shifts and get her days off. And if anybody needs to work overtime, it has to be you, the man. But it is women that
Right.
will complain of being tired of sex. Let me just say the word. It is women that will say complain of being tired compared to men. I'm not saying they don't complain, but not a lot of them and not many times. Maybe once a year.
Sister,
That's
Sister
just
Sammy,
what I think.
come in. Let me divide this topic quickly. Even though for men that have their women abroad and that even have them living together, do you know most? Sorry to say, this is just a true, a real fact. Most of these women are still the one that cheats because this guy is always tired, working 2, 3 jobs, and they work only 8 jobs. Do you know today? No, let's be realistic. In America that I'm living in here, we see that because of these women having enough time, they are the one cheating, looking for sidekick, looking for this and that. They even go on their forum and discuss. Look, when I work in the nursing home, when I work as a healthcare, as a nurse, this is what I hear from most of these ladies. Oh, he doesn't have my time, this and that. They're always looking for little sugar baby, little sugar that and that and that. And this man is there working 3, 4 jobs, all because for the family to be okay. Let's be honest, that is for the one that are even here with you, that are living together. We've settled a lot of scores. We've settled a lot of family scores. Even though Pastor Mrs. Afa and Malama, we've settled a lot. And this is the only complaint. Oh, he's not touching me as he used to. He's not doing this. Why did you cheat on him? Oh, because he's not touching me every time. How do you want to kill this man? You want him to
Ori,
get go
can
to
I
grave
ask
on
you a
time?
question? Ori, Ori, can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes, man.
Have you been watching too much cartoons
Yes,
lately?
man.
Have you been watching too much cartoons lately?
No, I don't even.
Have you been watching
No,
too
not
much
at all.
cartoons?
No, 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 no. I've not even watched cartoon for. I don't even know when I watch it.
Because it's only on that movies that the man does not kiss or have sex, or the woman does not touch. So if you have been watching those kiddie movies, please stop. Who on
No,
earth?
no, no,
Why
Aggie.
can
No, I've not
no
watched
no
it.
no? You've been watching too much cartoon and
Okay,
fairy tales.
okay, Aji, Ori, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you because yours is like kind of like an argument between what we're saying, and I understand your point completely, and I appreciate it. Now let me let King say something to this topic first, and then I will come back to no, go to Fatima before we go back to Ori, because Ori has something very important to say. Hi,
Okay.
King, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for
Okay.
joining.
Thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to join your platform, and greetings, family. Thank you to everybody. I appreciate everybody's viewpoints and opinions, and that's a good thing for us to nurture. You know what I'm saying? When we have differences, it's a good thing to recognize differences so we can learn how to grow, and we don't have to exactly agree with each other, but just be understanding. And it's a good building process, and it's not going to be easy. And I just appreciate it. But the topic of cheating, I don't like cheating. I don't. Anytime somebody even talk like that, I'm like, nah, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's just it's something. It's a childish thing that some people do. And one thing that I can give advice about that is I remember I was working in a shipyard a long time ago, and back when I was like 20, my early 20s, right? And I was eating my lunch, right? And it was some good food, right? And the guys was talking and stuff, and they had this conversation about like, your woman, when you had that feeling that if you had that feeling like somebody's cheating on you, it's probably happening. You know what I'm saying? And they were right about that shit. And even though they was talking about it, but when I felt that I knew it enough, had to move on from that. So that's, just a little something, I ain't saying, hey, just quit your relationship just because you think, they cheating because you might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not know that person cheating on you, but in my case, that was the thing. You know, I don't mind saying that shit, but hey, I'm glad that I'm not the type of person like, hey, I'm like this. I like playing a fair game. You feel me? But a lot of people out here are not like that. A lot of people are very good actors. So y'all everybody be very careful. Anybody listening, just be very careful that there's people out there who who don't mean you any good, and they will say and do the things more than the people that you might not realize that are better for you. You see what I'm saying? Because this world is very complex. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all get it in. I appreciate y'all letting me have my time, and thank you. Y'all been helping me
Thank,
out. I've been helping y'all. Thank you, Bento.
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Fatima. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi,
Oh,
Fatima. How are
sorry.
you?
Sorry, Sammy. My mic was on mute.
It's okay.
Hello. How are you all?
We're good. Thank you.
I've got a little contribution that I want to put in.
Go ahead.
I feel like these men who are coming from Europe or America, coming to, I would say the Gambia because that's where I know best. I think they're not honest with the women when they come most of the time, because can you imagine if you have to marry a very young girl who doesn't know nothing, and then you marry this girl, then bring this girl to your family home, because most of them will bring them to their family home to stay with the family. And then when this girl will stay in the family, the man is not really honest with you, and they will not tell you how they are living in Europe. So you're living with with the man's family, and you're in and out, everything that you're doing, the family will know it. And then when you want to go out or anything, they will contact your husband and tell the husband, oh, your wife has been out, or she hasn't still come back, we don't know what she is doing. And the man will call you and ask you, where have you been, so and so and so, you know. Whereas the man should be honest with you and tell you what he's doing in Europe, because some people are in here, they will go out and do whatever they want to do. But if they want to marry somebody and put them in their family home, they will not want to bring them next to them here in Europe. They will just want to leave the wife with their family, and then they will know what the
Cooking
wife is
and doing
doing.
laundry.
Yeah, they will.
Cooking and doing laundry every
Yeah,
day
and they
and
will
going to
know
the
what the wife
market.
is. They will know what the wife is doing 24/7, because everything that the wife is doing, their family will tell them. They will inform them. So this wife cannot go anywhere, cannot do anything, and they will be here enjoying themselves, which is not fair. Number one, on the woman's side, which is not fair, because I know some of my friends who've been through this type of relationship. The man will not bring you here. They will come here and do whatever they want to do. Some they will even go to Gambia and still go and follow girls. Whereas you are married, you have one child or two, and you're sitting at the family compound. You know, you have to do everything for the family. It's just like you're kind of like a mate in the house, you know, which is not fair. I feel like if somebody is going to marry you and you're a woman and you're in Gambia and you're a very young girl, before you marry to this man, you need to be clear to this man. You need to say, if you want to marry me, you need to bring me close to you. I'm not going to sit at your parents' house to wait for you there. You need to bring me close to you. If that person love you so much, they will bring you close to them. They will marry you and bring you close to them. They will not marry you and leave you with their parents, because that's where all this problem starts. Fighting here and there, problem, you know, arguing tomorrow, so nobody, they will not talk to each other. And then the man will not support you. He will always support his family, because whatever they tell him, that's what the man is going to believe. So if you are a girl and you're in Gambia, whoever want to marry you, you need to tell them, you have to, if you marry me, you have to bring me next to you. I'm not going to get married to you and stay with your family. I'm not doing it. I think if every girl said that to a man, I mean Gambian men, because they are the ones I know much, much. If any girl is telling that to the men, they will know how to, you know, how to treat you, or if they marry you, they will know whether to bring you close to them here or leave you maybe at your family's house, maybe even, you know. They will not just marry you and leave you with their parents. Because if they're here and they're doing other things when you don't know what they're doing, you know, I think that's my argument. And I'm very sorry if I offended any Gambian men, but it's not fair to marry somebody and just leave them there like a garbage. It's not right. It's not fair. And also, if you don't have papers, you need to sit down and say everything to that person that you're getting married to, because they need to know what is going on before they get into this marriage. Because it's not fair. And that same thing goes to the woman too. If you know that you're going to marry to this person and you're only doing it for your own selfish interest, you shouldn't get into it, because it's not fair on the man too. To get married to this man and then they will be here sending you money and you're there spending it with other men, that one also is not fair. So be truthful to each other, inside out. Tell how it's happened, you know? And don't just use each other. It's not right. I think that's my contribution, and I'm very sorry if I offended anyone. So.
I guess absolutely not, because everything you said is the truth. And talking about that family thing,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with living with family, but for how long? If you're marrying somebody and they, in Africa, it's part of like the Gambian culture is part of it. When you get married to someone, most likely sometimes you go live in their house or their family home. Now the girls are not taking that anymore though. Now the girls that I'm hearing about, everybody's taking their own apartment.
Absolutely.
Even though their mother-in-laws are in Gambia, their mother-in-laws are still alive, but they're not doing it anymore. I'm hearing these stories, I'm like, oh wow, these girls are now ready for it, because they don't want to go through the crazy things that people go through with their in-laws. It doesn't mean that all in-laws are bad, but some people go through a lot, in the name of marriage, where their husband is not up. The people are judging them. Their sister-in-laws are lying against them, telling their husband they're cheating on you, they're doing this. You send money to your wife, your whole family puts their eyes on the money. Oh, she's finishing my son's money. My son's money will finish. What is this? The man is sending a little bit of money to the mother. The mother is saying, oh, it's the woman that is brainwashing my man, my son. You know what I'm saying? So these young girls are so scared. They don't want the trouble. They're like, just put me in a separate apartment and just leave your family in that house. I'm not going there, and I'm ready for it. And some of these men don't understand that still. Some men, I hear men saying that, oh, these women now, they're so spoiled, they want to be in their own apartment. But somehow I don't blame them somehow. You get what I'm saying? Even my brother is married. He got married, and his wife is living in the house alone right now. She's just alone because my grandma died. But like, we are pressuring him like to do everything, working on filing for this woman to come. She needs to come. She cannot stay there, So that has to be the focus. I'm not saying people shouldn't get married, because I myself, I have family members that are married to women. But I don't want those women to be there waiting for my brother while I'm here in my husband's house, and I know how it feels to be near your spouse. But you have these women that are living with family, living with sisters and mothers. Even if the man wants to file for the woman, some of the sisters are jealous about it.
Absolutely.
They don't want this woman to go abroad. They just want you to stay. And this man is just pumping you with money. Money is not everything. Let me tell you something. For the man that thinks that pumping money, even if you're giving, some men, they give a lot of money to their wives. Honestly, they will send so much money at the end of the month, and the woman will get used to that. Hey, it's a lot of money, and then it's okay. But guess what? Money is not everything. Money is good. Money is good, but guess what? Having your partner beside you every day, going to sleep on the same bed, and kissing, being intimate, is not compared to money. Though money is good. Let's just balance this thing. And that's why I don't say, let's balance it. It needs to balance. We can't just say, oh, it's okay, I'm sending money, or I don't have to bring her here. Somebody said here, but this woman you can take this woman abroad and then they'll put you to jail. That's the mindset I'm talking about. That's the selfishness I'm talking about. And I say that with respect. Yes, I'm saying,
why would you
I'm saying this,
who love you so much, and then you bring them here and they put you to jail? Why?
Because you lied.
it, okay, let's say even if it happens, guys, okay, let's say it happens, okay, because in these days anything can happen, okay, let's say it happens, but are you going to be sitting there and having that type of mindset when you're not even married, or when you're married and your wife is not with you? What
Yeah.
kind of person that does that make you? That makes you selfish, because you're only thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about how she feels. You're thinking about, oh, she can come and betray me. You have to be positive. Things
Yeah.
happen. If they come and betray you, it is what it is. Have faith and move on to the next person. But
Yeah.
you can't judge every woman based on what another person does. You get
No,
what I'm
but I,
saying?
I think people who think like that are people who are very insecure, because if you trust somebody and you want to marry this person, and you marry this person and you bring that person here, why would you think in your head that that person will put you in jail?
Just
Why?
selfish.
Because maybe you done something wrong, maybe.
Sammy, you know where you were talking about the money, yeah? Let me tell you guys this. You know about the money. Okay, if I were dating a guy in UK, or if I was married to a guy in UK, let's just say dating a guy, and you just transfer £50 in my account, I will look at the money and say, Kita mabuga yapsa, smoke on that I'm being serious. Then Fatima and Sammy, you know the money in Gambia. Then this person marries a wife in the Gambia and send the £50 for this lady for her monthly allowance. And this money is sent back home with the dalasi. You know the dalasi note, it's very rumpled and it's very big. So the £50, when they change it to the Gambian dollars, like it's in like a bunch. So the person will be thinking, my husband send me millions every month. But
Yeah.
like a guy like me living in the Gambia, and you send 20, like £50 in my account, I'll be like, Kita mo bugaya. Kita mo ko
Yeah.
dur mama mi yep. Wakiram yep. Wow, parce qu'il a failli bate. So this is
Mm.
the problem. There's this guy, for example, it's a little story that is dating a white lady in this country. I said in one of my videos. So basically, this white lady would give him £20 every month, and this £20, yeah, this guy would be calling 50 times, like his niece that is here, to collect the £20 and send it, because when he gets the £20, literally is a bit of little money. So
Oh,
Fatima, just tell me, who would give me £20 in this country? Like, for
no.
example, let's say if Mr. Uganda would have seen me on the streets and say, Aji, take £20, I would just say, hey, pass, I pass. Don't even say
Yeah.
hi to me. So this is the problem. We they marry these ladies and they leave them there. And like Fatima, you said, they
Mm-hmm.
marry these young ladies and they're blinded from the truth.
Yeah.
They know nothing. And like I was saying, we Gambian women, we are so scared to ask our men, because when we get these rumple men, some of them we just find and we are like, you think like this guy is a diamond because he lives in Europe. Even if I ask a question, he would leave me and marry another woman. Mane, mandang mabai. Like we were talking about, Sammy is talking about the money and it being there. Like sometimes we need our men to be there. You might be sick, these guys should be there. You might be
Mm-hmm.
like Fatima, when they marry us, they leave us with their moms, their sisters, and they will like literally bully their wives. They will make them go through, they will make their life so miserable. And when you
Mm-hmm.
even call your husband and said, oh, this is what I'm going through with your mom, with your sisters, he'll be like, Munyal. You see, just nga munyal mo yahakir you bari Gambia,
Yeah.
munyal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, munyal.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Like
It is.
sometimes I do say to people, if the person is not, if the guy, I've been married, I was married, and I know what I went through. Like some of our men, like they will have their wife and their mom in Gambia. So when they send money to their wives, their moms start having issues that you're sending money to the wife. And when they make the wife live comfortably when they're in Europe, and when you go to the wife's house, you meet everything is designed nice and the wife is dressing good and all of that. Jealousy start growing there. The mother-in-law would start saying, oh, like somebody was saying, oh, okay, my son is in there. Oh, okay, mako jur diarko lum am yone ko jabaram ana jabaram moko neka di control. Now the marabu start coming in. They start going to the marabu. Oh, okay, my son's wife is marabuing my son. Everything my son have is sending. Like, if you want to talk about the issues when it comes to marriage, and because they're all connected, cheating, insecurity, and all of this. Like, you would bring so many topics in one topic. So, like, I always tell people, if the African, me now, if the African is not born and raised here, me, mercy. If it's not white, mercy. I proudly say that me, like, it's my choice as a human being. Like, okay, some of them stay here, you overstay. If I see I overstay European too, I will take it. Because just look at Ori, what he was saying. A guy would sit 10 years without having sex. Hey, oh, going to work, this and that, that, that. And then I said, then you have to be wanking 100 times a day just not to have sex. Even when you are walking, you have to wank just to release that. Like, seriously, just to release that thing for you to, like, like, that's what I said. He's watching too much imaginary movies and cartoons, and the director would tell the movie star, do this, that's what I want you to do that. So he's watching the director direct those people. Like, seriously.
Okay. I'm gonna let your future husband. He paid you for on clearance, right? He got you on clearance though. The money did not come yet, but it's coming. So I'm gonna let him talk. But before then, somebody said, okay, feminist. What has this got to do with feminism? Okay. When I started this life, I said, listen, I'm not even a feminist. But when we're talking about issues that are affecting us, people are, trying to make excuses or call others a feminist. So because women are coming out and talking about this long distance relationship, maybe even if your wife is you're doing the same thing to your wife, it's okay for somebody else to come out so that you can be awakened from what you're doing. But people will decide to call people feminists. This has nothing to do with feminism. This is about us as people, as a couple, the feelings and how we have to consider each other. What has feminism has to do with this thing? I don't understand. Anyways, I just husband, I'm just gonna let you talk. So clearance, Agi, very soon I'll make your clearance $1. So you better mind your mouth.
Oh my God, Sammy, Sammy. All right. Let me come in. Thank you again. Let me come in from another view. Coming through the topic again. I'm not in support to say a man should leave their wife for 10 years or long time before they go back to them, or leaving them, abandon them in Africa for 10 years is not appropriate. Let me come in that way first. But situations might come. But the major thing that I see here that I want to quickly address is this. If a man or a woman is married, when we're getting married to each other, I think we should marry our best friend, somebody who we understand each other, that we can sit down, talk, and understand each other very well. Me, I always say something to my friend. Instead of me marrying a wife, I rather marry my best friend. A wife will be like, I see somebody that we are just making babies and taking care of me only. But if I marry to my best friend, this is somebody that is going to understand me. I understand we're going to be very intimate, and that give definition to everything. If I call my best friend, hey, this is an opportunity for me to sneak to abroad. I want to go work there. Do you know if I work there, with what I found out, I can make so amount of money? What do you think? Can I go? What? Let's contribute. Let's talk about it. And she agreed. Okay, how long can I stay? Hey, my dear, don't stay more than so time. Maybe 5 years or something like that. Then I get here. Remember, I said I'm married to my best friend. You love each other, you trust. And that's another thing that we all should know very well. Most marriages are going on today. Sorry to say, this is just reality. It's just for marrying's sake. It's not real marriage, to be honest. Most marriages that happen today, people spend millions of nairas, blah, blah, blah. That is not what they call marriage. I believe the marriage is the mutual understanding with these two people. Either for good, for bad, for anything, they don't care. So this is from angle where I'm coming from. If I'm married to my best friend and we both sit down, talk about it, how can I make a future for our family? Go there, go and make good money. Come back, or you want to pick me up down there. Okay, let's try it. I get here, I try all paperwork is not going good. Then I have my target. I want to work 5 years. I make my money, I keep sending it to my wife there, be doing this, be doing that, be doing this, be making this, be investing in that. Then after my 5 years, to be honest, as to respect my promise initially, there's nothing stopping me to, whatever I might have seen in America or London or anywhere, no matter all the gold and glitters things that they are using to convince us here, don't even look at them. Just take your time and go back. That is what I'm talking about. So it's not fair that you get to abroad and now you abandon your partner. It might be to the man, it might be to the women, and to the woman too. I see women in America too. I see women travel down here, leaving the husband back home. Let me go and hustle. There are some here. I mean, Nigerians on the forum can testify to this. So whichever party that belongs to this area is not normal for you to now break that vow. That's what I'm saying. But along the line, there might be some situation. Things might change one way or the other. But today, let me say the truth. Look, some men, I know most men cheat a lot. Men cheat a lot. Women too cheat a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thank you, man. So now, I really,
That's what
I
we
really
wanted to hear.
agree with the I spoke before. Sister Agis commented again. She really nailed it. She nailed it. To be honest, she nailed it. Like, you don't have to abandon your wife back there now in the family house, sending $50 and thinking, oh, I'm helping, I'm doing everything. Remember your purpose of living. Like, to me, I always say, look, when we leave Africa, we come here, we make whatever we want to make. If you really know what you want to just, I mean, somebody like me, I'd rather take my investment, my money and everything and go back there and invest. If I know my spouse is there, my wife is there, my kids are there, and I want to really enjoy, because there's nothing, no amount of money I send down to them that can be like, my kids are back in Nigeria. No matter how much I spend, when they say some word, daddy, I want to see you. It's like, I can't be there right now, but I'll be like, oh my God, this word alone tears me up most of the time, like, oh my God. But I still need this target. I have to make, okay, I'm coming next month. Don't worry, guys. Then if I have not met my target, I will still send them money. Hey, go to the park, go enjoy yourself. But that money cannot do everything. But to the other side too, women, I know you don't want to hear this. Okay, take for instance, Sister Kemi, I know you are on the show there. Now you know what the trend going on in Nigeria now about a woman that the husband left there, came here in America, do all paperwork. Now they want to bring the family. The man will go back home once in a blue moon quickly and come back. Now they took the case to the embassy. They do the DNA. Do you know that 2 out of the 3 kids are not the man's own because the embassy rejected the DNA? Please, what has this man done wrong here? If he tried to fulfill his promise, he came here, do his paperwork first, do everything, save money, keep sending for them. Then when he gets to the stage of him getting the paper to required paper to bring them in, now he sent for them. He did every paperwork, everything. He went there, they took them there, they took DNA. Then it's not 2 of them cannot come with him because they say they are not his kids. I beg, who cheat here? Who caused the trouble? The man again? The man did not cause any trouble. He's fulfilling his promise. He's doing all he can do. But this woman cannot hold body. She can't hold body. That's what I'm talking about. Not that when I say, you see, it's something in some people sometimes. Some people are just bound to be like that. Don't get me wrong. I respect every woman, to be honest. You guys are mothers, especially when it comes to pregnancy. Anytime I see woman in pregnancy with money, you know this guy is there, he doesn't have paper, but he's sending money to you. He's buying you car. He's doing everything. You didn't remember, start complaining. Now you want to say, oh, your son did not come home. My husband has left me for a long time. And now why won't I cheat? I can't hold my body. Excuse me, don't you know that he doesn't have paper before when he was sending you all this money, buying car, doing everything, renting out, doing that and that for you? So we should just balance this thing in general. We should balance it on the 2 sides. From my own perspective, if a man is married back home, you have your wife there and you guys have your love, you really love each other, and the one travels out of the country, please follow your promise, do all you can do. If you can get them in, if your target is to bring them abroad, fine. If not, do the job you want to do, save whatever you want to save, go join your family. You sacrifice those few time, 5 years, that won't kill someone. To me, I saw something on the chat here saying, oh, 10 years holding body, you cannot hold body. It's mindset, to be honest. I must be honest with everybody. It's mindset. To be honest to me, you can do it. Your wife can hold body for that. You two can hold body because you have more than 5 years to live together. When you go back home, you guys have years and years and years. If you want to, from morning till night, no going out, okay, oh yeah, you already have what you have. And if you want to bring her here, you cannot come here. You want to live together. I remember something somebody said about another factor there. We find out research most of the time that the system is two different systems, right? The system back home is different from the system here, to be honest. Back home, like say for instance, in some culture, the wife will still like kneeling down, greeting the husband, cooking food, doing everything. But as soon as they get to abroad, they mix with some friends here and they see the way things are going. The wife that you're expecting, don't I will always advise men, don't
Okay, you're breaking and we can't hear you. I,
how about now?
okay, it's better.
Okay. So I was talking about men living. I was talking about men bringing their wife here, and like somebody mentioned the other time, if you bring your wife here, before you bring them, to be honest, I always tell them the truth, let them know everything that is going on here, and change your mind as an African man. Change your mentality. When you're bringing your wife here, there you are the husband. When you bring your wife here, there you are the husband. When you
You're still
bring your
breaking.
wife
Okay,
come back,
you're still breaking, Corey. So I'm gonna let Donnie goes in speak. He's been waiting, and then we'll go back to the other guests. Hi, Uncle Donnie. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I just wanted to jump in to piggyback on brother Ori what he said, and
Mm-hmm.
I agree with him. You should marry someone that's your best friend. You should marry someone that you enjoy being around, someone that you can communicate with, and I think that would have helped with a lot of these situations. I think it's due time. I think a lot of these stereotypes that we talk about now are going away as far as these male female positions or how I see the women think men do all the cheating now, and now I think is if it ain't 50-50, um, it's probably getting close to that. So, and I do know people personally that situation he said. I know a good friend of mine personally that didn't cheat, was with a woman for some years and found out that neither one of the kids was his. So it was heartbreaking. So I think if men just get, we always put in the forefront. So I think that's why we always get all the blame. But I think it's really time for a cultural upgrade. That part of our culture thinking that it's okay to leave your wife behind and you go abroad to make some money, I think it's outdated and need to end. And I think women, it's your responsibility as a woman to say what you're going to tolerate. And I would suggest that every woman say that you're not going to tolerate this behavior in a relationship. Even if you need to make money, you need to figure out a way to get me there first. When I do and think of something, I think of my wife and my kids first. And I don't think that people are, definitely the men are not thinking about the fact that not being there has on the kids. Just because your wife is there taking care of the kids notice when the father's not home, and they missing out on a vital part of their upbringing. Even though you're sending money, he's still missing out on having a father. So, and I think it's hurting us as a people. So it's time to let that die. That's the part of our culture that's dead. Let it go. It's time to, if you can't come within a few months or figure out a better situation, then we need to let that go, and we need to start getting two tickets instead of one when we go to make some money. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Um, I understand what you're saying, Uncle Donny, but the thing is that, like, most of the time, when women, no, when men have like maybe a visa to travel, like, most likely a wife cannot stop them from traveling. So, like you said, that mindset is what has to change. Okay, let's say a wife decides to stop a man from traveling because, I don't want you to travel because we're doing perfectly fine here. Let's manage what we have and try, you're ambitious. I know we can make it. Like, some men will be like, hell to the no. I have a visa and you're telling me that I shouldn't go. It's like, if you want to leave, you can leave, but I'm going abroad. That name abroad, there's something about it. Like, most likely, a lot of women will not be able to stop their men from coming to the diaspora as long as they have a visa. Go to your parents and complain about it. Go to his parents and complain about it. Everybody's gonna look at you as a very wicked person, or they're gonna look at you and be like, "Are you okay? He has to go. Like, there's no way you can stop him from going if he wants to go." But like you said, that mindset is what has to change. We people have to sit with their spouses and discuss things, come to an understanding. Because sometimes most of those people that will come here, even though they're probably doing good, they come here and probably their life would be much better if they were back home, because they don't have papers, they're not able to get a good job. You're getting paid $10 an hour, and you have all these giant bills in your house. You're not able to save anything. Now, that woman that you left back home, you are not able to send the type of money that you should send for her to take care of herself. I'm not saying that people don't make it here. People are making it. People are building homes back home. People are making so much money taking care of their families. But also, these are also issues and things that are happening to some people. But because the woman don't have like that type of voice, to stop you, because everybody's gonna look at her in a very weird way. Sometimes they'll be like, "Okay, you have a visa, just go." But it's not everybody that is happy that their spouse is leaving them.
I agree. I think it's like I say, it's time for a culture change, and if he do decide to make that move and go without you, and he's not in a timely fashion coming back, then at some point you got to say enough is enough, cut your losses, and find somebody else. Because to stay 10 years, 5 years, and that person gone, by that time they just started a whole new life. They probably got a whole new wife or another situation wherever they chose to go to. And I think it's unfair to have somebody sit behind and wait that amount of time for you, even for some money. And you know how it is. You over here, you might be making more money over here, but everything over here is more expensive as well. So it's
Mm.
not like you coming over here and you living very lavishly over here in the States. Yeah, you just making more money and you create more bills. So that little extra you got, yes, it goes a long way at home, but nobody's over here unless you own a major corporation over here or something, or a really successful business. You don't have that type of income, but it needs to change. And like I say, with the internet going on now, a lot of stuff that we got away with because people didn't have access to the internet and have access, didn't know how things were around the world. So the more that changes, the more the technology comes, the more this whole mindset is going to be obsolete, and this whole overpowering of women and just saying that they don't have feelings. Women got the same needs as men got. Y'all just don't put it out there in the forefront as men do. So it always look like it's us because we more vocal with our needs. But women got the same needs. And also the older the men get, they are men that you can be faithful. It depends where you are, especially somebody that follows Islam or follows a religious belief, then you should be more disciplined than somebody that doesn't have a faith at all. So for you to not do that means that you're not even following the faith that you claim that you are. So that's also another recourse for the woman or anybody to say, if you're not following that belief system that you claim to be, then put it on God. And then that's between that man and God or woman or whatever, if you're not following what you say you're supposed to believe. And I leave it at that.
Thank you, Uncle Donny. Hi, Kwesi. Welcome to the panel, and thank you for joining.
Yeah. It's me, Kwesi, innit? Um, yeah, I just wanted to say, I just joined not long ago in terms of seeing your live, but I just read the title and just wanted to say a few things. And I think that in a relationship, if someone travels and they're outside for they're in another country or far away land for 10 years or more, I think too much time has passed on, and I think both couples will most likely be seeing other people. I think it gets a bit more complex if there's children involved. If there's like you have kids before the man moved to, let's say, the Western world, 'cause that's where most African men move to, then I think that can sort of be the glue that sticks the relationship together for a while. But after 10 or more years, I think too much time has passed on, and both of them, the man and the woman, will most likely be seeing other people. I think 10 or more years is too long for an individual not to, at least flirt at the very minimum, flirted with, people they like in foreign countries or, yeah. Aside from that, I think it's also the pressures on the men. There's a lot of pressure in Africa for men to provide. So that's
Mm.
another reason why a lot of men are leaving to Western countries, faraway land, to seek the money, so they can take care of the family, they can build a better life. But as for the 10 plus years, I think after 10 plus years, I think too much years has passed by for any relationship to stay truthful. At least if the man goes back home for holidays, like say every year he goes for 1 or 2, 3 months holidays per year, then I think that could keep the relationship intact in it, because he goes at least every year. He goes for 1 month holiday, 2 months holiday. That is enough to keep the holiday relationship. But if they don't see each other at all for 10 plus years, I think that is too long for any relationship. It's not gonna work out. They'll be cheating or at least flirting in it. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you, and I appreciate you. It is too long, very long. 10 years is not, it's not something to be joked about. And
Hmm.
if people are saying, oh, it's, we can hold body and soul, like Ori is saying, and it's like when you wearing that shoe, you will not understand until you're wearing that shoe. Okay, it's not easy. And for the people that are going for holiday, listen, that 3 months you're talking about, like the one you said, is easier on the side of the ones in Europe, like England, and I would say Spain, Italy. Those ones, sometimes they'll go for like 6 months. At least the Gambians that I know would go for like 6 months sometimes. But in America, the ones in America, that one is terrible. It's just 1 year. And then the ticket is so expensive. Some people will have to extend their going for every 2 years instead of every year, because it's so short of a time and people are not able to save enough money to go. And it's not only about you buying your ticket and going, because there's a lot of expectations when you go as well. Okay, like you spend money on ground, more money than what your ticket even costs. You spend 2 or 3 times what your ticket costs, like if an African is going home. So you see, the ones in America, I think those ones are in an even worse situation. But I also see that the ones in America are most likely to bring their women, because I guess it's far and they can't be going back and forth. And also, it's very expensive to go. So they most likely are the ones that bring their wives more. So, anyways, I'm just gonna let Matt Joy, welcome to the panel, and thank you for joining.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, We can hear you.
Hi everyone. Welcome, YouTube family.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Angie in Angie's Corner. I'm one of your fans. Same to you, Sammy. Um, African Millennial. Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Hi, sis. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, sorry, guys. I just jumped on and I didn't even know what this live was about, but I'm willing to contribute. If you can just brief me what the topic is.
Yeah, it's about like women that are left behind, and then we have they have their husbands in the diaspora who are staying for like 10, 15 years. Probably they don't have papers to go back, and these women are left lonely, and the struggles they're going through without a spouse for such a long time. Whereas, and also that women have like a short time to accomplish a lot of stuff. Some people will reach menopause even before the husband goes. Some people may not be able to have kids again, but the man would have a chance to marry and have kids. So we're talking about like these issues that are affecting us, and why we should consider each other's feelings, and consider certain things before we jump into just traveling blindly with no documents or expectations of anytime coming back soon anytime. That's what we're talking about. I don't know if you've seen like marriages like that as well.
So we're talking about long distance relationships, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so my input, I think, would be definitely a long distance relationship is hard, especially if your spouse is you don't have papers to join your spouse after a long period of time. I feel like that could be definitely have a strain on your relationship. But usually, I mean, I don't really know about these things, but usually, obviously, it's easier for a man to just move on. They can meet another woman, start a new relationship. Whereas if a female spouse is left behind, she has children, she has attachments, and it might look likely that her husband might not return. It's harder for her, especially if she has children, to just start a new relationship. So I think it boils down to the individual, really. I feel like for the female spouse that's left on the continent, I would assume that's what we're talking about, on the continent without their spouse. I feel like after a certain period of time, and it doesn't look likely that their spouse is returning, then I feel like they should have to weigh up the pros and cons and make that decision whether they're going to, live in a relationship with some to speak a false sense of hope that their spouse is going to return, or whether they're just going to start afresh.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And King, do you want to say something? You've been quiet to everything that we talked about. King, genocide.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I was just listening to everybody, but yeah, it's funny that she came in and said that. One thing I was gonna say was that we call it a long distance relationship, meaning basically like you're trying to keep in touch, but because you're not physically there with each other, it becomes a long distance relationship, and that was an interesting point that she brought up because that's actually what I would have had said. I would have actually had said that. So. I mean, like, I mean, I can't speak on somebody else's relationships and stuff like that, but sometimes people are actually faithful with a long distance relationship. You know what I'm saying? When they actually love each other, so it's not that all long distance relationships can't work. You know what I'm saying? So that is a true thing. A lot of times people wait for 5 to sometimes 5 to 10 years. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people actually do that and they love each other and they grow up together. That actually happens, but that might not be the most. Most people do those type of things, but that could happen. You feel me?
Yeah, true. It actually works though. Like I feel like it works for a lot of people because I've seen a lot of like long distance relationships that lasted for years that
Mhm.
have worked. But like I said, because it works doesn't mean it's okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So we
exactly.
have to be very mindful when we go into such relationships or when we're marrying people, knowing that we cannot bring them or we cannot go back. But it does definitely it works. Yeah. African millennial.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to say is that I see this from a completely different perspective because I'm actually a product of this. Like, I'm a product of long distance relationship. This is what my parents actually did. So, they met a long time ago. Uh, they knew each other for 3 years before they actually decided to get married, and then they were married for like 7 years. And then what happened, basically, the situation in Ghana at that time wasn't really good. It was JJ Rollins, and he was like assassinating a whole bunch of people. So my dad
Mm,
was like, okay, how about I leave, right? So he decided to leave, and he obviously at that time things were difficult and you can't just leave with your family. Like, as a man, you have to leave. You have to be the first one to go abroad and make that money and do whatever you need to do, make the sacrifices before you send for your wife and children, right? So
mhm,
it took him a really long time to get his papers. He thought that he would get his papers in like 5 6 years. It took him about 11 years for him to finally get his papers. So it was, I'm not gonna lie, I think it was, looking back now, I don't think it was easy for my mom. I don't think it wasn't easy for me either because he was barely there. Um but what worked for my parents, I think, was the fact that, as Ori said, my parents were already together for a long time. They were together basically for 10 years because they dated for 3 years and then they were married for 7 before. So the foundation was already there. They already
yeah.
had family. And also, what happened is my dad would go and visit frequently. And my mom would sometimes go and visit him. So even though they weren't together, they still had that uh, physical connection because they went to go see each other. So I think that it can work. It's not ideal, but it can work. What I will say is you have to be careful, especially if you're a man or a woman and you're going back home. You want to go back home to find somebody to marry. Um, it's gonna take some time for you to find the real one. It's gonna take some time because if you just go back home and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna bring somebody over here, as somebody mentioned before, I think it was Quissy or it was Ori, but one of them mentioned before, if you just go back home and you find some random person, things might not actually work out. But if you guys were already together and then you come over here, I see that situation to be a bit better than as opposed to just marrying a stranger and expecting them to understand how life is abroad if they've never literally been here before, because abroad marriages are very difficult. You know, where back home
Mm,
things are usually like 100%, 100%. The woman has her
yeah.
own job, the man has his own job. But over here, it's hard to have things be 100%, 100%. Things have to mix a little bit. And I feel like some women don't want to work when they come here. Like they don't they don't understand that it's actually really hard for a man to do things 100% with no other contribution. And then I also see some men over here as well. They also don't understand that you actually have to help when you're over here. Like you can't just leave the woman to do everything like you do back home because there's no help. There's no mother-in-law, there's no sisters. So yeah, I honestly, just what I'll say is I think it's just better if you find somebody who's your friend and maybe you date a little bit longer as opposed to just bringing a stranger over here.
True. Thank you. Aji, I'm gonna let you talk. Aji's
Yeah,
corner. What's
Sammy,
up?
I just wanted to say a bit from what they said. I'll start with Uncle Donny. When he was saying that some women should try to say no to some of these things. I think when it comes to relationships, we're all grown ups. you should be able to look at something that will favor you or something that you can do. Like, you know that, oh, okay, if I go in this, I can do it. Then just say, okay, let me just try. Of course, we should be able to look at things and say, no, I'm not doing it, or I can't do it. Like Uncle Donny was saying, like, we are adults, we should be able to see things and say no and make our own decisions. Like, I would proudly say on my videos, oh, I'm not gonna do this in a relationship, I'm gonna date this kind of person, I'm gonna date this kind of person. Maybe, like, that's me, I'm just talking from as me. And he was saying something else, like the culture change. Like, literally, he is right. Some of these cultures, yeah, or the culture in Africa, we should try to change. But the thing also is, if you're trying as an African, if you're trying to even dodge away from the culture or not following the culture, or like leave the culture a little bit, they now start saying, oh, you behave like you're not an African, or you behave like you're not from Africa, or why you pretending as if you're white, or why you trying to belong somewhere that you don't belong. But then people need to know that it might be a culture that you just want to say no to, you don't want to go back to those things. And someone was saying, I think it's Kwesi, that African men are literally raised to come to Europe, or to look after the family, to be the breadwinner. He is so right. You see, that's the problem. Put a tropical Gambian woman down, or a girl, and ask them, what's your future plan? They literally tell you to get married. Oh, that's it. You don't have no future plans. So when you get married, obviously, what do you expect? The guy to look after you, and you be in a house whereby you just have kids. Some of us in Africa, we are just born spares. We sit down and make babies, make babies, make babies, like a baby making machine. Dañoo jura ba furi. So ñu gisee kenn xàmmeetuñu. No. Da nga gis nit like dang ko def be nga ew suba di sol ben sipa be waxtu bi nga tedda, because you've never had future plans. You've never, like, from the beginning you could have said to this guy, you know what, I want to go to school, I want to study this, I want to study that, I want to study. But this is what I'm saying, going back to what I was saying, we the women are so scared of telling even the men our future plans, because some of us don't even have any. We just want to marry to someone who is like literally living somewhere in Europe. That's what makes us happy. But there are more things to life than that. Like, Sammy, so many of us are going to suffer, and we're going to suffer more. Like, I'm telling you, Sammy, if you go to one compound in Africa, all you see is like SOS. Kids will run to you. "Eh, nyona, ya, nini." Like, I'm not saying even don't make babies, but then you can make your babies and go to school. You can be married and go to school. We don't have plans, Sammy. We as African women, all what we want is a guy that is wearing maybe Gucci, maybe do Utal. His trousers is almost falling down. He's literally walking and pulling the trousers every minute. These are the things that attract us. Hey, Africa, we need to wake up. And especially when I say Gambians, like, all these men are saying things that are very, very educative. And this is why we all have our platforms to come out and educate each other. We need to exchange our like ideas and know what to say. And I think King was saying something like, oh, he wouldn't say for other people's relationship. Like, I did a video not long ago, like, be mindful with people's relationship. I won't step on people's relationship, but as a human being, you should know that not every shoe that you should wear that will fit you. Not if somebody is in a long distance relationship and she's happy, does not mean if I go in a long distance relationship, I'll be happy. You see, we Africans too, another problem we have is copy and paste. We just like to copy and imitate and say, oh, okay, if Uncle Donny is married to a wife and is long distance, is happy. One of them was saying, I think it's African millennial. Some people can be married long distance and they can do it. Or he did say some people can sit for a while, like men, they wouldn't even have sex. Women can do the same thing. But some of us, me, in that category, I put myself in that bag. Some of us, I cannot wait. I tell people, I eat salt, I eat jumbo, I eat sugar every day. This thing would ask for something else, and I have to feed my body what it wants. So this is why, thank God, the white people have made toy shops, sex shops. If not, some of us will die chronic. But it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. Like, some of us, Sammy, we need to wake up. We need to sit down and discuss. Like Uncle Donny was saying, like, too, again, let me go in there a bit. Like, if your husband is traveling with a visa or something, you can tell the man that, oh, okay, I don't want you to travel, or you discuss his traveling. Uncle Donny, let me tell you something in Africa. We African women, especially Gambians, I don't like it when I generalize, especially Gambians, we don't have voices in our marriages. Always the man wins. And this is what I don't like about the culture. A guy would do something that everyone, even in the family, would know that what he did was wrong. When the elders come and sat you down, they would just look at it and said, oh, okay, he's your husband. Whatever he does, you should be able to forgive him. Or he's the man of the house. If he does it, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Look at the guy and tell him that it's not okay. You know, our culture is folding so many things and let people sit on it, and people would just look at it like that. If I was married and my husband is about to go to Europe, yeah, and I said to my husband, no, I can't sit down and I can't wait. You know what the family would say? Oh, I'm jealous. Oh, I'm the bad wife. The whole country would hear that I don't want my husband to go to Europe because I'm the jealous wife. I don't want my husband to have anything in life. I don't want my husband to be prosper in life. And there is where my marriage, even the husband would literally say, here is your divorce letter. When I was married, so many times my ex-husband would try to go to Canada. Oh, I have to go to Canada. I have to go to, I said, hey, bro, if you're going to Canada, write a divorce letter and put it next to the bedside drawer. Or put it on the chest drawer.
Hey,
And he'll be like, are you mad? He'll be like, are you mad? I said, no, because I can't sit for 1 month without having sex, period. And he'll look at me and say, you're not okay. I said, okay, fine. If like, even the Quran, like, people need to know, even with the Quran, if a guy travels and your wife got pregnant behind your back, or with another guy got your wife pregnant behind your back, you have to accept that baby whether you like it or not. And your surname will be given to that baby. Yes, that's how it works, Sammy. Yes. Because even the Quran tells you that a woman cannot wait for that long. Me, I said it outright. Basically, me, I cannot even wait for 1 month. I will do it. Yes, that's my contribution.
All right, you're no longer on clearance, so I'm gonna let Mr. Uganda talk.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, hi.
yeah, unfortunately.
I'm fine. It's been a long time since I've been on the panel, you know, like, it's been a while. I mean, I missed it. I feel like I'm at home. Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I think my contribution was just purely based on the fact that in a union or in a marriage, it's a relationship, and it's a ship with two people, and we are on the same ship. That means if you spite our ship and you whack a hole in it and we start to sink, you're hurting both of us. Now, what most people would do with these situations when they go to 10 years abroad in a situation is that they will get a life vest for themselves alone and they will leave their wife to sink back home, left with the legacy of the fact that her husband has left her, maybe he got another wife, and now she's left with the reputation of being the one that was left, the one who was shamed into staying. And that's what I'm trying to get away from, this culture where we willingly allow people to take advantage of other people purely because it's allowed. At the end of the day, like Donnie was saying, we have to have a major paradigm cultural shift in which the men not only take advantage of the way the situation is, but women should not even shame other women for stay in a situation such as this, where they don't get anything out of it, yet they're told to stay because the culture allows it. There's two genders who play a part in it, and it's men and it's women. The men take advantage, the women perpetuate because the culture says so. And because maybe they feel high and mighty because their relationship might have worked, or they might be jealous, you never know. There could be a bunch of things affecting this. But the very fact is that if in 10 years of marriage we haven't been intimate, it means we haven't built anything on that front. In 10 years, a lot of things happen. People are able to build tons of homes in 10 years. People are able to transition their child from one school to another in 10 years. People are able to get 3 types of qualifications in 10 years. And you're telling me that we didn't have sex not once in 10 years because you went to go and build another life across the ocean. It's unacceptable. And while I can't speak for everybody's willpower to stay faithful. I can speak on the fact that I don't think anyone wants a marriage where your spouse is away for 10 years. And while people can withstand it, it's not ideal. And hence, I can't perpetuate it and encourage it. Because I know that in an ideal world, people want a loveful marriage where you're able to be intimate with your partner consistently, and where you guys have enough respect for each other and enough communication that the marriage can work with both of you being together for many, many years, not 10 years apart. So that's just my thing, is that while it is the case, while people can do it, it's not ideal. And so we should, I just don't know, like, to be honest, but that's all I had to say on that. I mean, that's all I had to say on that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And you've made some great points and facts. Anyways, hi Kwesi, you're back.
Yeah.
Kwesi.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna touch on what they were saying in regards to the long distance relationship and the time frame. Like I said earlier, 10 years is far too long. Nobody can, very few people, if like I said, if they're going back and forth on holiday, then maybe they can, but 10 years is too long. And the thing is that people change. So if you're a man who's been in Europe for 10 years and you go back to your woman after 10 years, you finally get your citizenship somewhere in Europe, and you want to go back home to the continent of Africa to see your woman or your wife or your girlfriend, people change. She may have moved on. She's probably not even living in the area anymore. You feel me? She's probably not even living in the area now. She's probably moved somewhere else. She's now got new friends. She's met new people. And 10 years is a long time. You feel me? People can change even within 1 year based on their life experience. So within 10 years, 10 years is a whole generation. People can change. So I don't think it's realistic to sustain a marriage or a serious relationship for 10 years without seeing each other. You feel me? Because like I said, people can change, and I think a lot of people listen to this. Look, people can change. Your woman or you yourself, you can come across someone else that you like more than your wife back home, or you can come across someone that you like, you just like in general. She obviously will be approached by men back home. She will be approached by men anywhere in it, and she's not gonna sit there and wait for you for 10 years. Like I said, people can change, and nobody's gonna wait 10 years. Is impossible.
Okay.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like a lot of people are saying about the time frame and all of that, and about the sex thing, but I feel like it depends on what your marriage or your relationship is based upon. Because for me, like, this is an interesting topic, even though I jumped on and I didn't know what it was about. But my current situation is that I've just come back from a 2.5 month research trip to the Gambia. And now I'm back in the UK and I'm making plans to emigrate with my kids back to the Gambia. And my husband, he can't come right now because he has to stay in the UK. So I'm going to be faced with a potential long distance relationship or marriage. But I feel like it depends on what your relationship is based on. So my situation is that my husband is my best friend. So obviously, although the sex thing is a bonus and it's nice, but at the same time, I feel like if your relationship is based on so much more, then the physical aspect doesn't necessarily factor in. And, like, we have friendships that maybe last 10 years, and we might not see that friend for like 5-10 years, and then when you reconnect with that person, it seems like no time has gone past. That's because your friendship is based on something solid. So whether time has gone past or whether time hasn't gone past, you still have a solid foundation that you've built up, which ultimately is a friendship. So I mean, for my current situation, I want my husband to be coming with us straight away, but our situation doesn't dictate that. But I don't feel worried, so to speak, about us losing a connection because we have a fantastic friendship. So yeah. Also, really quickly, guys, I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Concept of Joy. So yeah, jump on, check it out, check me out. It's a transitional vlog from moving from the UK to the Gambia. So yeah, hit me up.
Definitely, we'll check it out. Thank you so much. And I agree with what you said, and I think African Millennial did touch on that about her parents, you know, that they have like a solid base. So for people who are already married, some people are married for like 5, 6, 10 years before one of the spouse even travels, you know. So most likely these people, it's gonna be difficult, but they will conquer. But when it comes to like the newly married ones or the ones that were never together before marrying, maybe you're abroad and you decide to marry someone in Africa, I felt those ones are like more challenging when it comes to cheating than the ones that are already having like you know, they already have a solid base. So yeah, you guys have like a great point there, and thank you, African Millennial, for touching on that. So you guys, you see, like we have people that are talking about their stories. So, and that's why I said this has nothing to do with feminism. This is something that we are going through. You know, these are things that are happening, and it has nothing to do with coming on board and trying to bash men or anything. So, yeah, after saying that, I'm gonna Fatima, come on. I have forgotten about you. I'm so sorry. What do you have to add on to what everything that we have said? Fatima?
Oh my God, where's my mic? Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Let's be here. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I can't hear.
You can't hear us?
Oh yeah. Sammy, I think what I'm going to add on top of all that's been said would be I think I would say trust. I think as a man or a woman, whatever relationship you're going into, you should first build a trust.
Your connection is really bad. It's breaking.
And always marry somebody that you know, maybe you're from the same area also, because it's not easy to wait for somebody for 10 years. It's not easy, but if you know somebody that you trust and you know that this person is very honest and will wait for you and you discuss everything, I think that will work. And also as a man or a woman, whoever is in this relationship and is in the other side of the wall, you need to communicate. Because if you communicate and you understand each other and you explain to the other half what you're going through, I think that will
Fatima,
make
your
life
mic
easy for
is
you
bad.
both.
We can
Because,
barely hear
you
you.
cannot be here and not telling your other half what you're going through. You can't hear me.
No, your mic is not like, I don't know.
She can't hear me. So
We can hear you, but it's like, I don't know.
where's my mic? You know what? Sammy, can you hear me?
Just a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna add Mamida while we wait for Fatima to fix her mic. Hi, Mimi. How are you?
Hello?
Mimi, welcome.
Can
And
you
how
guys
are
hear
you
me?
doing? Yeah.
I don't have to say a lot. I'm just gonna say about the 10 years distance, it depends what kind of relationship you guys have. And sometimes maybe if the husband have or the wife have the papers, I think that can work. If they have like access to go back and forth, I don't think it's a problem. The only thing is like when you leave your wife for like 10 years without seeing each other, that's where I see the problem. I know that a lot of our people go through that, but the culture is like you're gonna have to just wait and hope that one day your husband or your wife will have papers so that they can come back and forth so that you guys can see each other. And I'm not agreeing to those kind of long wait relationship, because sometimes I don't think it's really good to leave your wife for that amount of time for like 10 years. That's not a good thing in a relationship. I mean, but it's up to the person. Like, if you want to do it, hey, it's up to you. You want to wait for your husband, or you trust your wife, or you trust your husband, whatever he does. I mean, it's up to you. But I wouldn't wait for 10 years unless I have a paper or the guy have a paper. In that case, yes, I'll do. I mean, like, I can do the long distance thing. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so because then they are able to like come and go, every
Yeah,
time.
you know, like we have a lot of people that have husbands that are in Europe or in America, and their wives are back home, and they be able to go like on a holiday maybe once or twice a year. That's not a problem. You can do that. I mean, hey, if I have that, I'll be glad, because I don't want to be like cooking every single day. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy to have that free time. I don't want to be. You can come like twice a year in that's not a problem, and that's just my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amy.
Because I know Aji said she cannot wait that long.
Yeah, she said she's gonna freeze. If she freeze, we're just gonna put her in the freezer so she can freeze more. That's it. Anyways.
Well, that's Aji. And I can understand where she comes from. Some people cannot wait. They can't do it. If you cannot do it, don't do it.
Yeah, but people cannot wait, but people are not being truthful about it. So that's why sometimes the cheating happens. If you can't wait, you have to, like free yourself. Tell your spouse. I mean, I believe they will appreciate if you tell them than cheat. Nobody wants to be, associated with somebody that cheat on them, because that's devastating. So if you can't do it, you just have to be truthful. That's what I think.
But most likely
Jessica?
the man that will cheat, but the woman. I mean, I'm not saying the woman don't do it, because some women will do it too. But most likely the man will cheat. The woman will wait, especially when they start having kids and stuff like that. They will wait, but the man, maybe they cannot wait like that. And in our culture, it's like, hey, I'm the man. I can have more than one wife, so I can do whatever. But the woman, the disadvantage in this is the woman. I
Yeah,
mean,
most of the time.
the disadvantage in it is the woman most of the time. Yes, I'll say most of the time, not the man.
Okay. I'm sure Oriyomi has something to say to that. So Ori, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. Okay. Thanks again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with what Mimi said.
You're breaking again.
Like she
Maybe you should change
said
what
on
you're saying
her
or
own
saying.
partner. She can.
Ori, you're
Can you hear
breaking again. No, we can't hear you.
Um, okay, I'm changing my location again. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. I was saying I'm agreeing with what Minnie said. Like what she just said now, that she can even do it. No, so like we're saying, some people can do it and some cannot do it. But to round this up for my own side, I would just like to advise all partners, whoever is traveling, to keep to promise and try to do whatever both of them agreed on. 10 years to me, like every other person has been saying, can be too long, to be honest. You can make your journey snappier than that. If you try to document it, it's not going through. Your plan B should be there. Maybe you have a kind of target you went for, you're going for, go for it, get it. And for the woman side, if it is the woman back home in Africa, I will plead and advise, try to plead to all women, please, when the spouse is abroad, remember, both of you are best friend, right? Please don't have another best friend that will be advising you out there that, oh, when they get there, oh, those ladies, don't even listen to them. Remember, this is only your best friend. Listen to him, follow him. I mean, your agreement with him. And when he starts sending money back home, please, for you to make the journey very snappy, make sure you are using it exactly the way you guys plan. Don't start diverting the money somewhere else. If not, you might make the journey longer for him. And at the end of the day, don't blame him that you promised me 5 years, now you're ending up with 10 years. But if everything's been equal, I think it's going to be okay. For men that want to really marry two wives, like Mimi just said or something, let it be in a mutual agreement from the beginning. If you know you can cope with your partner with 2 wives, 3 wives, no. If you know you can cope, please back out from the beginning. Don't go in and now start making excuses. And for men on our side, don't say because you get to abroad now, you now see some flashy girls and stuff like that, and you forget your wife back home. This is not good enough. Please just try your best. Remember your promise. Do all you can do. Meet up. And for us men coming here, I always ask myself, my forefather has been enslaved in abroad. I understand it's a greener pasture. We're all coming here to make a better living. Everybody has the purpose of traveling. Let me say this quickly. So I'm only talking from my own side. When I'm traveling out, I have my focus, I have my target. I went in there and I started doing, and things are working out good. But I saw some friends that get here, all this glitter and gold, divert their brain. They forget what their purpose of coming abroad is all about. Then, before you know what, these are the kind of friends of men that I believe that we even forget the women back home. So if you have your purpose of traveling abroad, go there, go get what you want to get. My forefather have been enslaved back here with the work too hard. I come here, I never see dollar on the ground since I've been here for how many years now. So you have to work before you earn every dollar. So do whatever you want to do, get your money, and get yourself back there and enjoy your life. I think life is more suitable back home in Africa. Go back and enjoy your queen. Go back home there. Make them feel okay. Let them feel comfortable. At the time of your being away, don't forget some steps that I might advise. Keep in touch time to time. Communicate, advise, say good things to them. Make them feel happy. Encourage them. Keep their hope up. Keep their faith up. So such a woman, even though she want to misbehave or something, when she keep saying all these feelings and advices and things from you, even though for 5 years, 6 years she hasn't seen you, all these memories are gonna make her feel like she's with you every day. And like Aggie said, I don't want to say that. She said a lot of toy out there. You guys can toy. And like Sammy said the other day too, you can video chat. I don't know how to say about that. Sammy can educate us about that. So a lot of ways, to make to keep that relationship keep going and like fresh, as if you guys are seeing, even though you are distant. So I think all means that can be applied should be applied to make it work. Other than that, any man that just travel or a woman that travel and gets to the other side and feel like, oh, this is the end of the world, is a natural betrayer. It's just, I think they didn't really go, they are not friends. They are not really meant to be, I guess. Maybe they went into the relationship for one thing or the other. But if you marry your best friend and you have a good foundation, I bet you you can work it out. Having said this, 10 years still too far. Please make it snappy and achieve whatever you want to achieve. Make life sweet back again. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, everyone. And I say again, if I offend anybody, please, so sorry. But I still just have to contribute my little own quota here. So I'll say good night to everybody for now.
Good night to you too, Ori. Thank you for joining, and we
Good
really
night.
appreciate your contribution.
Thank you.
Can y'all hear me? Thank y'all. This is a good conversation. I don't want to talk too long, but if y'all want to ask me a question or talk about anything, oh yeah, this one thing I did want to say. Like when you go to like college, like say you get a girlfriend and you go to college and then it's a long distance relationship. that's something too. That's a subject. You feel me? Like, like if y'all got kids or something, and then a relationship, that's something that you might want to think about because things like that do happen. You see what I'm saying? So, just bounce off ideas. All right, y'all get it in and out. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
No problem. Thank you so much, King. And we're just gonna quickly wrap up. And since Ori have given his final words, I don't know what you all have to say. Like
May I go first?
how, huh?
Like,
May I go first?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, let me finish. How what do you guys think we can do? What should men do to prevent these kind of long distance marriages and maybe betrayals and stuff like that? And also women, because we have women on the panel. So yeah, Mr. Uganda, you can go first.
It's actually great that you asked this question. I think I would encourage everybody to. We have to understand we're only put on this earth for a certain amount of time. A great deal of empathy would really help in this situation. Like, we all understand what it's like to have sexual urges, what it's like to require intimacy, communication, and security, and all of that stuff. The situation would be helped, I think, if we start, at least with the men who go abroad in these situations, maybe start to really view your spouse, like, see the humanity in them and see what you would feel like if someone was to leave you and ask of you to be extremely faithful, to not worry, and to not do anything that would like jeopardize the marriage. All the while, I don't know what you're doing over there. So just empathy, because when you ask someone to, when you take someone off the market and you marry them, I'm putting my vessel, my body off the market also, and you have to respect that. So just respect your spouse as you would respect yourself. And I think that would lead to a lot of I don't know if it would lead to them making shorter stays over in the wherever they go, but I think it would lead to them making a lot more logical decisions because they would start to factor in, okay, how would I feel if she did this to me? So that's my solution. Just start to have empathy and have a real empathy, not just a put on one, but a true empathy, because you know what you're truly asking of someone when you ask them to stay by your side for 10 years without being right by your side, but being thousands of miles away. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uganda. Thank you. And Fatima Aliu, I wanna let like the people in England to the UK to speak first so you guys can go. I know it's late. So thank you so much for joining this panel. I appreciate you guys. Fatima, what's your final words for tonight?
Yeah, thank you, Sammy. I'm really even tired. I want to go to bed.
No.
Yeah, my final words would be communication, because wherever there's no communication, there's no understanding. So if you are in a relationship with somebody, you need to communicate. The reason why I'm saying this, I'm going to talk just a tiny little bit about my situation, just a tiny little bit, because I used to be in this kind of situation before. Not exactly the same, because I was not in the Gambia waiting for my other half. I was here in England, but because we communicate, we understand each other's stance. I know what he's going through, and he knows what I was going through. So we feel sympathy for each other. Then we understand that this is what we want at the end of the day. Then that's why we're together now. So anything that you're doing, any relationship that you're going into, you need to communicate. Because if your other half doesn't know that you're waiting for your papers, you're having paper issues, they will not like have sympathy for you, because they don't know what you're going through. You're not communicating. So communicate, understand each other, feel sympathy for each other, so that at the end of the day, you can be together. 10 years is a long time, I know, but if you communicate and you feel sympathy for each other, and you know that at the end of the day, or after that 10 years, we'll be together, then you'll be able to wait for it. But not everybody will love to wait for 10 years. It's far too long. Sorry to say, but it's far too long. But just communicate, understand each other, be there for each other, you know, because that's what a good relationship will build on, you know, communication and understanding. That's my final thought.
Good. Thank you so much, Fatima. And Mark Joy, you're also in UK. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to basically back up what Fatima said, I feel like communication definitely is key, and understanding, and also the other major factors that come into a marriage, which is long suffering, patience, loving kindness, forgiveness. Because yeah, 10 years is long to be away from your spouse, but I mean, anything can happen in those 10 years. And I feel like, again, if your marriage or your relationship is based on something very solid, and let's just say, for instance, your husband goes and starts another family, goes and impregnates another woman, and makes you know about that situation, then it's whether again you want to stay, and it's whether again you want to exercise the fruits of marriage, which is patience, long suffering, kindness, and forgiveness. So again, just to back up what Fatima said, it's about communication and understanding. If you guys both have an understanding about what it is that you both really want out of the marriage, when you walk down the aisle and you said for better, for worse, then really you have to factor those things in if you are going to be in a long distance relationship. So that's all I want to say, guys. Don't forget to try and subscribe to my channel, The Concept of Joy. It's a vlog about me moving from the UK to the Gambia. So good night all, and thank you, my YouTube family. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you too. Appreciate you. Okay, we're done with all people in UK. And yeah, wait, Mimi, go ahead and give us your final words.
All right, Sammy. Like I said, do what works for you. And I'm not agreeing to the 10 years without seeing each other. That's too long. That's far too long. I mean, but then again, if it works for you, hey, it works for you. But I'm not agreeing to that. That's all I got to say. And thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much. And Donnie goes in.
Thank you for having me. I guess I would say to the men, I think the question was to the men, what would we do differently to stop this? I would say to the men, most of us are either Christian, Muslims, or atheists, but I can speak for the Bible, and it speaks of how a man should treat a woman, how a man should love his wife, and I'm sure the Quran speaks of the same thing, or whatever you religious practice you follow speaks on how a man should treat his wife and his children. And I think if we apply the golden rule of treat others the way we would want to be treated, I think we could forego a lot of these problems. I think the problem is us as men are in power, and we took it upon ourselves to twist these books to our benefit, so it benefits us. I mean, it benefits me to have as many wives as I want to have. It benefits me to be able to leave and leave my family and my kids and come back 10 years or whenever I feel like it. It benefits me, and it always benefits a man. And if you love your wife or you love your daughter, would you want that same treatment for her? And as far as even the money, I like to give a quick personal story about myself. I used to work 2 or 3 jobs in America. Had a business. My wife would tell you, I used to be scared to take off on a Saturday. I used to work in a barber shop, and the weekends was like the busy days where you make all your money at. I used to be scared to take off on a Saturday. I told my wife if the kid have a birthday, it better be on a Sunday or a Friday or something else, but it better not be on the weekend. or we gonna have to change the party, because I was always scared that I was gonna miss money, and men we do, or bills not gonna get paid, or stuff not gonna get done if we not out here to do it. But what I found out the hard way is when I had a bad accident and fell, and all that ended overnight, I discovered that the lights stayed on, everybody still ate, we didn't get put out on the street, and the bill still got paid even after I lost 2 of the 3 jobs and half the income I was making. We still survived. So, man, if you think you're doing this for your family just so you can survive, and they can't survive unless you stay somewhere for 10 years, I would say to you that you mistaken. You can make it, and you being there for your kids and your family and spending time with them will mean more than that money you sitting at home, and one less day eating out, or one less toy for your kid, or one less trivial material thing that doesn't even matter in reality is something that they would gladly give up to spend more time with you. So let's look at these things we believe. Let's do this culture. Women, I would just say it's okay to say no. It's okay to say what you're not comfortable with. It's okay for you to say that 10 years or a year is too long. If you don't say anything, then we're gonna continue to think what we say and do is right. You are our helpmeet, our better half. We make decisions according to a man that loves his wife makes decisions according to what's best for his family, and how he will make his wife and make her happy. So if you don't say that you're not happy, then we won't know that you're not happy, and then we can't make those changes to better the family. So at the end of the day, we just need to we should be doing what's best for the family. And I said it once before, the family is not everybody else, and not the in-laws. The biblical family is the husband and the wife, the male and feminine coming together as one. That's the family, and that's the most important part of the family. The kids, the family, all those are beneficiaries of that relationship. So if we make sure that the husband and wife is good, then everybody else will be good as well. And we got to change this culture. Just because we believed it and it worked for a period in history doesn't mean that we got to continue the same behavior forever. It's not working these days and time. This is like a two-person working society now. A lot of us can't make it just one person. It takes two to make it. So we got to switch these responsibilities for what's best for the family and for the team called the family, so we can work together for the win for the family, and not just for the win for the man or the win for the woman. And somebody mentioned something, and I'm gonna go, but somebody mentioned something. I don't know about continental women versus women in the West, but this whole Western mindset that cheating going on everywhere, and it's not just men. I mean, in my personal sphere of influence, I know at least 3 or 4 men that had horror stories. One found out that both the kids he raised to their teenage years wasn't his. Another one, his wife decided that, they got in their 50s and she decided she wanted to be single. It's just the culture is changing, and it's, a lot of it is not positive. But if we keep in mind that it's for the good of the family and for the children, I think we'll make better decisions. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you for having me on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Uncle Donnie. And next is King Genocide.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, the thing about long distance relationships, as long as you actually stand in contact, communicating, and actually whatever you doing and building your progress and growth and sending back money and taking care of your people, that's a good thing. And I think, yeah, I said it right. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. And last but not least, African millennial. I did that on purpose.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Interesting. So thank you so much for this panel and thank you so much for the topic. What I will say is I agree a lot with what Aji said. We just have different deliveries. Aji is more direct. I try to be very nice sometimes. But
It's so fun.
basically I agree with what she said though. Responsibility does lie on the individual. So for instance, if you're a man, right? And if you're already not married and you're going to abroad, I would think it's just a good idea to focus on getting your papers before you promise anybody marriage. Because use my father's case as an example. My father had a 5-year plan to get papers. It took him 11 years and he had to move to different countries to get his papers. Like, getting your papers is not easy. Like, it's not always okay, I'm just gonna get it in 5 years. Like, some countries have all these rules. If you're going to Europe, sometimes you need to know their language. You need to know like Italian, German. You need to know their languages before they even think of you. As a woman, what I will say though is if somebody is promising you marriage, same thing. Ask questions like, how are you gonna get your papers? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, do what Uncle Donnie said as well. Don't just accept things. Really try to ask questions and make sure that you do your inquiries. Because if we're talking about marriage, that's going to be a commitment that you're going to have for mostly the rest of your life, you know? So I think we just need to be really careful. And we need to also make sure that whoever we propose to, that we have good feelings for them. Like, don't just promise somebody marriage because you know they want to get married to you, or because your parents say that you need to get married. Like, don't just promise people marriage if you're not sure. I think it's just better to just say you're not sure and then deal with those type of consequences. But one of the consequences of promising somebody marriage is that maybe somebody is not even married to you, but because you said you're going to marry them, they're actually waiting for you. They're not going to talk to anybody else because in their mind you already said, oh, I'm going to come back for you. So let's just do better, both of us, both men and women. Let's just do better. That's all I can say about that.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you guys. And you guys think that this has been like beneficial to us because everybody almost had a story and we're all gonna learn from it. And I'm glad that like women came on board to talk about how they feel and how most likely other women that are going through this are gonna feel. So that's gonna make our men to be more conscious and make better decisions sometimes, because I know that migrating is not gonna stop, but we can do better, okay? And what I want to say, I have a couple of points that I wrote down. It's a lot, but anyways, what I can say is that what Fatima said, communication. Even though I know that people that are married to diaspora husbands in the diaspora, they do communicate with them, through this internet, phones, and but always try to talk to your wife, tell them what you're going through. There's this mindset that sometimes when people are in the diaspora, they don't want their family to know what they're going through. Even if they're going through like hard times, they'll be like, I don't want to bother them, I don't know what they're going through. Tell them, because if you tell them, they're going to have empathy for you, they're going to sympathize with you, they're going to feel sorry for you. Maybe if you have plans on building something, that empathy they have for you is gonna make things like walk faster for you, because they know, especially if it's your wife, when you're quiet, people don't know what you're going through, they don't know you're suffering. Even if you go to work and you stand at a warehouse for 12 hours, tell your wife, this is what I do when I leave this house, when I talk to you and I'm on my way and I'm on my way to work, I don't sit again until I get back. Tell them how tough it is for you so that they can have a little bit of empathy for you, because Africans don't understand the struggles of the diaspora. They don't understand what people go through here. Even this money that people will be sending and people are eating it is because they don't understand. It's some type of selfishness, and wickedness is part of it too. But some of them also do not understand the struggles. But if you're telling your immediate family, people don't talk to their family, but they complain outside, you know, like, or the media, or you complain to your friends, my mom is bothering me, my sisters are bothering me, they don't understand, I don't have money. You have the right to say no. Don't do things that you cannot do just because you want to satisfy them, or you think they're going to say you're angry. You know, if you have plans to go back home, you cannot be, you know, just doing all. I'm not saying the important things, but some things, we all know that some things that Africans be asking for are not even important. Anyways, after talking about that, the man, if you have a wife behind, be romantic. And African women, they have a problems of being romantic, especially my Gambian brothers. Like, just be romantic. Like, call your wife all the time, tell them sweet things, things that are gonna, you know, encourage them and, you know, make them feel better. Like, there's some things that when you do it, even if you stay for so long, the woman it tends to get better. Okay, they tend to understand you, they tend to love you more, and when they love you more, they can do anything for you. So be romantic to them. Call them, even if you sit and you're not doing nothing, you call them, say, I'm just thinking about you, I just said call to say love you. You know, you don't know what that is going to do to that woman. You may think that is just 3 silly words, but it's not. It is important. Some of the things that we think are not important is what's important to another person, especially women. Women love to be pampered. Even if you talk to her now and then you're just sitting, you can just make that type of joke and call her back and say, I miss you within 1 hour. It's gonna make her feel good. But my Gambian brothers, romantic, they're not part of it. So I just want you guys to work on that very well. The little things that you guys think are not important is what's very big to women. Women love men that pamper them. If you pamper a woman, if you can be on the phone for like 3 years and they're not gonna be bothered. They'll be like, this is the most romantic person. They love it. I love it. And I'm telling you what my fellow women love. Okay. So, and the third thing I want to talk about is about, most times this happens with men. Don't try to control your women that you live in Africa. You're in the diaspora. I'm not saying that they should do whatever they want, going out, you know, going to clubbing every day, but sometimes let them live their lives. I have seen this. I have a friend. We went out. This girl, when her husband is calling and she's not in her room, in her bed, she runs till she sweats, because it's a problem for her to be out or go to naming ceremonies or parties. It's a problem because this man is so jealous, thinks that probably the lady is going to cheat on her. Stop being controlling. And I feel like people do that because they're doing the same thing. Because if you're not doing that, why would you be bothered because your wife went to a naming ceremony of a family member or went to a naming ceremony of a friend? You know, stop the control. Before I came here, like I spent 1 year after marriage, I used to call my husband and tell him that today I'm going to the club with my friends, but we're not going to stay long. He'll be like, okay, have fun. One day I asked him, and I don't even go. And then I'll tell him I was joking when we're talking in the middle of the night. One day I asked him, I said, why don't you ever get like angry or tell me that I shouldn't go to the club? He said, because I trust you. And even if I don't, you're going to cheat if you want to cheat. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't fly to come and see what you're doing. You can tell me you're not going and then go. See, that's the mindset you're supposed to have. You're supposed to be positive. You can tell a woman, where are you? And they tell you, I'm in my house, and they're not there. Or they can be in the house, and the next minute you hang up the phone, they will go and do what they want to do. So the controlling is also something that men have to like calm down on, because some women, when they're out, they be running to get home just to talk to their husband, because the man shouldn't know that I am outside the house. The man shouldn't know that I am at a party. The man shouldn't know that I am out at 9 p.m. What can you do about it? You can't do nothing about it. She can do whatever she wants to do with your control or not. So just be positive, trust them, you know, and advise them if necessary. If you need them, if they're doing things that you don't like, advise them to stop instead of just making it forcefully or controlling them. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think those are the things that I wanted to talk about. And thank you guys. Oh, the paper wives, the document wives. Guys, this now white people, women in the diaspora, they already know the trick. They're making YouTube videos about it, that African men just come here to marry them because of papers, you know? You're breaking people's heart also. Even though you don't love them, you decide to marry them. Like, think about like the consequence of your actions. Think about if you have a child, what if you have a child with that person, like how that child is gonna feel for not having mom and dad together in one house. You know, it's also gonna affect the children that you have in that marriage, in that document marriage. So let's be mindful. That's why I say this thing is beneficial, because we can learn and we can be very conscious about the decisions that we take. And yeah, basically that's it. And I really, really appreciate you guys, unless somebody wants to add on to what I said, but that is it. I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for joining this panel once again. It's been over 3 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes, and we've all done good. Thank you guys. And do you guys have anything to say before we leave? No? Okay.
I'll say something. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, everybody. And when it comes to long distance relationships, just make sure that if you really truly care about that person, make sure you do good by that person, and don't cheat. And if you feel like that's something that you're going to actually do, be honest with that person. Say, you know what, I'm thinking about doing, and then as hard as it is, but be honest to that person and be like, hey, and then move forward. They what they want to still eat, but be honest to a person. That's the best thing you can do. But thank you, Binta.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, and I love you all. Don't forget being romantic. You can be romantic on the phone. Tell her how you love her. Tell her how you appreciate her. Call her just to tell her, I'm just calling to tell you how I appreciate you. I'm just calling to tell you that you're the queen of my life. It's going to play a big role in your relationship, that long distance relationship. Those three few words that you think is silly is going to play a big role. She's going to think about it all night, and she's going to love you more. She's going to be more patient with you. So that's all I got to say. Thank you guys. And I will see you in my next video or my next live. Bye guys.